everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives. I'm one of your hosts, Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle, and today we're going to be playing Apocalypse Prevention Incorporated 2nd edition for our third session of Monday Night Madness for API. And below me is Brandon Powers.
Howdy, everybody. Tonight I'm going to be reprising Claudia, the pattern, which means I'm a genetically engineered human being that another one of my fellow players, his family made me, the wonderful, lovable vermin Rizzo. And so I have been made to basically be the perfect weapon and then sent out into the field for test runs with Rizzo.
And in the next column at the top is Aldo Regalado, co-writer of Super's Revised Edition. Hey, Aldo.
Hello, great to be here as always. And I will be playing Dan DeLuca, former occult reporter turned API agent after he got his arm ripped off after checking on something that he shouldn't have been checking on, and API took him in, gave him a bionic arm, and took him into their fold. So he is now an agent for them.
Are we taking on new last names? Last I met you, you were DeFalco.
I keep doing that. You know why? Because I haven't changed it on my character sheet, because my character sheet is not in changeable mode. So I look up there and I see DeLuca, but you're right, it's Dan DeFalco. I changed it right before we started the first session.
You've got to learn to keep those fake passports straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And next in line over in this other column on the right below Aldo is Kevin Scarth. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, everyone. I will once again be playing Rizzo the Vermin, who I kind of describe as what if Skaven weren't so bad. As Brandon mentioned, his family helped create him, but Rizzo's not like the rest of his family. He likes being in the field, causing trouble. We learned last session that he really does have low impulse control and led to some interesting shenanigans.
Yes. And joining us for the first time for API, our friend John McMullen, who we've been kind of throwing in cameos all week, or all session, sorry, every session. Hi, John. Glad you finally made it.
Hello, I'm glad to finally be here. I will be playing the newly rechristened Carl Casper, who has an oh-so-appropriate last name because in this session he will come back as a ghost. Carl is the bookkeeper extraordinaire and accountant, and I know about bureaucracy. So anything involving, actual human beings? No, but paperwork, that's what's important.
Awesome.
So I look forward to this.
I look forward to turning you into a ghost. So we're going to start with a quick scene with John. So John, before that, we are going to fade from black into the scene. And you come in and you see Anchorage, Alaska, out from the satellite. And you come zooming down. And as you get closer, you start seeing that just off the port of Anchorage, Alaska, there seems to be a really large fire. And we continue to zoom in, and we find that there are fire trucks everywhere trying to keep the fires from burning the houses. And the entire beach for several miles is on a raging inferno of a fire. The water itself is on fire on the surface as well. And we'll get back to why this is the case very soon. We continue to zoom in and we find our team hiding out in one of the buildings, in one of the houses. Now we're going to cut over to John. John, you're back at API headquarters. And this particular headquarters is in Boston. And you hear that the team has been making a lot of trouble. And so you're called into Mr. Z's office. And you said your name is going to be Carl?
Yes, Carl.
Okay. So you step into Mr. Z's office, and he's he's kind of a short man with the military cut of the straight up across the top kind of cut, like, back in the 80s or 90s.
Flat top? Okay.
Flat top cut, yep. And mustache.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes, J. Jonah Jameson. And he's got a cigar in his hand. And he goes, Carl, come in. And the whole place is brimming with cigar smoke. It's just kind of thick, and you can see it in the air. Carl, you know that team that you sometimes work with? Well, they're up to something out there in Anchorage. I just got a strange call about something going bad. So I'm gonna go send you downstairs to HR, and you're gonna go use that experimental teleporter that some Agnes is working on, okay? I need you to go and get them the insurance paperwork for... Oh, wait, where is that file? Hold on. I got this file somewhere. And he starts tossing folders all over his office. Like, he picks up a folder. Nope, not yet. Throws it across the room. Nope, not yet. Throws it at you.
Organization frightens me.
And you see that at one point when he's throwing a folder at you, saying not it, you notice that it catches on fire on the corner of the folder from his cigar, and he doesn't seem to notice. And you know that this is something that happens to him, and people end up stomping out fires in his office, and just about every folder has a little singe from his cigar. He's a fire hazard. Hold on. I got this somewhere. And he goes, there it is. And he taps one of the folders that after throwing a bunch, and some of the ash falls onto it, and it catches a little bit singes a little bit, and he just stamps it out with his hand. And he says, here, take this down to Agnes. She'll get you hooked up. Now remember, it's a experimental teleporter. So, make sure you sign the NDA and the release and the 404 and the 606 and the 1010, okay? Before you step in.
1010A or 1010B?
Both. Oh, and hold on. I need to find that 1010C. Don't want your decapitation to be liable. Hold on. Got it somewhere. Oh, here it is. And throws another form at you.
Sure. And I'll just change my beneficiary while I'm at it.
Hey, you said that I'd be your beneficiary for life.
Sorry, we just discovered I have a child. Mistake when I was younger. So, or I'm being shaken down. I'm not sure. She was not that good.
You're probably getting shaken down. I mean, look at you. You ain't so, look at you.
Shake it down.
So you're going to go downstairs.
When I was younger.
Okay. So, anything you want to ask before you go down to meet Agnes?
Okay. I just want to repeat back what he expects me to do, which is go in and get everyone to sign insurance papers or something.
Yeah, and find out what the heck they did. Basically take a report and monitor their behavior. It's all in your file. Basically, you're now auditing the team.
Excellent, and doing stenography besides. I am so thrilled. Oh, okay, sure. I'll walk down to HR, which is fortunately one floor. It is not even one floor away because Mr. Z has a tendency to fire people, and they have to get to the HR office quickly. So, sure. Okay. I'll go in.
So you go
Janice.
No,
I've got a number of forms. I have my pens in different colors. So I start signing, Xing things out. Apparently there's some kind of... This isn't the teleporter where you should go to the bathroom first, is it? Because...
No, that one's been deauthorized. This is a new one. You haven't eaten today, have you? Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine.
Remembers the Chipotle burrito that he had earlier today?
Yeah, just step between the two red dots.
They didn't want to make money. They would have put a Chipotle on the property. All right, sure. I'll
Now,
let me just get my trench coat
oh,
uh,
sure.
and put
Um,
it on.
so just step between the two red dots, and Agnes will be right with you.
Sure.
So Janet takes your forms and checks that they're all in order and leaves. And Agnes comes in, and Agnes is a muck. She is oozed, reformed into some sort of almost human-like person, and she's got the ooze tire around her belly. She's got the 4 chins of ooze coming off, and she's wearing a little apron, an actual apron as her clothes, and she kind of just glides up to you, and she just starts putting her slimy hands on you and starts to try and pose you. And puts your hand here, hand there.
I didn't get along with her sister on the blind date. I am not happy.
And she's putting one hand there, and she's like putting her head down, and she's like, okay, now lift this leg, and yeah, she's just getting muck all over you. And then she says, now hold still. Hold your breath. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Hold your breath. And she goes over to the control panel, and she starts sliming all over it, and you hear it starting to fire up, and you hear and you swear you're gonna be shot by a laser. This must be what it is, because it sounds like a James Bond laser. I think I'm killing Al though. And all of a sudden,
You're killing yourself.
I expect you to die.
And all of a sudden, pew, pew, and 2 laser beams shoot out. And the next thing you know, you're standing in front of a beach. And on this beach, and we're going to make it so that you can't react right now because you are still transporting. But on this beach, what you currently see is the team. And the team it just chucked, you saw this Molotov cocktail fly across the sky. And all over this beach is an oil spill. Like a tankard, like a big tankard oil spill, like the Gulf Coast kind of oil spill and such like that. And the kelp that's washed up on the shore, it's all moving. It's all covered in oil, and it's all moving like tentacles. And you can scroll up in Discord chat to the other week, and you'll see the pictures. But all the oil-covered kelp has turned into tentacles. And in the middle of the tentacles, there's one swamp man, basically, because the kelp tentacles are covering him, and so is oil and gunk. And he's engaged with Claudia. And then up in the building, you see, actually, you wouldn't see who was in the building, but you hear Dan yelling things to Claudia, but you can't make it out yet. It's just mumbles and garbles. And then you start coming into reality, and that's when everything erupts into fire. As the Molotov cocktail hits the oil spill, and whoosh! And you happen to be standing right in it. Bam. So, fast forward a couple seconds, everyone's run into the building, not knowing that you just got turned into a ghost. And I will let you introduce yourself. You guys are now in did I say 18th or 19th century home, basically restored? That's basically the house you guys are in. And they're in the kitchen cutting off pieces of kelp from the guy that was inside the swamp thing. And so the kelp has wormed its way under his skin in Matrix or Alien movie style. It's got plugged its kelp into the back of his neck, into his body. He's got, IVs of this kelp sticking in all over his body. And they're just cutting off pieces of it from him. And that's what you're watching as you're trying to, figure out what the heck happened to you.
Yes, well, I think I'm walking, but actually I'm floating.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to open the door, and then walk through the door, and the door never opens. And I sort of look back at it, and
in fact, they slammed the door right in your face. I mean, didn't they see you there? They just slammed it right in your face. Your nose basically pokes through it as it happens.
Hey, guys. Look, I got a 21C here that you have to. Hello.
do
Guys.
do we hear him?
Yeah, you hear him. And also, yeah, all the paperwork's gone. You had it in your hand. The paperwork is no longer in your hands.
Oh man, that is such a problem.
And
He'll
yeah,
kind of glance over his shoulder and be like, "Carl, hold on. We got a situation we're dealing with here. Just not really notice that
he's a
a
ghost.
ghost.
Yeah.
Just kind of acknowledge him, but keep watching over what's going on."
Yep.
Hey, your door is broken. Because, I can just walk through it. And is that one of the new things you're testing?
What are you talking about? Turn around and look at him. It's like, whoa, Carl.
Yeah,
the
I
hell's
have
happened to you?
senses,
His ghost looks like this.
Holy Christ! Carl? What the heck happened to you? Jeez.
The experimental teleporter didn't.
Ah.
Wait. I look kind of crispy.
Yeah, you think? There's like ghost smoke coming off of you. What the heck?
We call that
Jeez.
ectoplasm. Did you not read your introductory? Never mind.
Well, it's gonna be all right, I think. Looks over at the
You realize that if I am living impaired, that means that I move an entirely new section of employee relations? Damn it.
Okay, well, you seem to be processing this better than I would.
No, I'm going to have a freak out later, but not on the job.
All right.
Do you want me to take some kind of reading so you can properly fill out the OSHA form?
Yeah, I think we better try to see what I can not do.
All right, people. We've since your head's still in the game here, Carl.
Dan?
Yeah.
He is from the accounting who is responsible for us.
Yeah. What's your point?
Is this another budget cut? Is he no longer alive due to budgetary concerns?
Looks over
that would make sense.
Carl.
We were talking about killing.
I think they call that a slash and burn policy.
Yeah.
All right.
No, the killing people thing wasn't supposed to take effect this year.
That's what they told you, at least.
That's true.
It may have been to throw you off. So, yeah, all the paperwork that you teleported in with is gone. It's disintegrated into ash outside.
I know what forms they were. It's just the mission-specific stuff.
Oh.
Well, we can. I didn't have time to read all of it.
The fire trucks roll in, and they're trying to fight it off and keep it off the houses as you guys are continuing to discuss your situation.
All right, people.
Suppose you have a secure line so I could phone for new copies to be faxed.
My cell phone's trash, so I can't help you there. All right, look. We've got to deal with this before people come around and ask questions. We got to regroup. We got to figure out what we're going to do. What do you guys think?
Well, I think we still got to check that ship out.
Yeah, of course. But in the meantime, yeah. So there's a shipwreck out there. We're pretty sure it's the epicenter of some strange activity on the part of a creature that was kind of made out of like tentacle oil, right? Or oils that were covered with tentacles, or tentacles that were covered with oil, something like that. And we tracked down the creature. It turned out to be this guy. We got the oil tentacle stuff off of him. Well, I don't know how you want to think of it, the easy way or the hard way, using that fire. and he's now freed of his control the tentacles like he was doing before. But we probably still have to deal with the epicenter, right? So I think what we're trying to figure out now is where do we secure this guy and how do we secure this guy so that we can focus our attention then on figuring out what's out there in the ship that caused this to begin with. Does that make sense?
Yes, you're dealing with the Lovecraft Incursion Class 7.
All right. Well, it's good to put names on things. I think there's a certain type of peace of mind that gives me. That's good. That's good. Looks at the other guys like, eh. All right. So
he's from accounting.
So I have I don't know. There's a thought. I'm not saying it's a good thought, but it's kind of an instinct, a gut I have. We could take him to the hospital, but I don't like that. We could take him to his former wife's house where there's a medical professional that seemed somewhat okay with, well, somewhat close to the family and maybe would be skilled enough to keep him stable while we go and deal with this. And I have a feeling that there might be some kind of familial healing that could occur if people were reunited. I'm not sure. That could be a bad idea, but that's an option. The other option would be to leave him here with, what was her name? Was it Daisy?
Nurse Daisy, yes, I believe so.
Nurse Daisy, who also has medical skills. So what do y'all think?
I think that whatever is causing this problem from the oil tanker will get worse with time. The sooner that we can get there to deal with it, the better we will be.
So your vote is for leaving him with Nurse Daisy?
If you think that is safe, yes.
All right.
I'm in the business of bad ideas. You know that. I'll back whatever play you got.
Case in point, outside.
One little fire and everyone gets so upset.
And speaking of
that
which,
killed me. I feel very strongly about it.
And speaking of which, Mr. Accountant, there are a lot of forms to fill out for causing an inferno that's several miles large.
Oh yes, yes. We're not even really. I would halt the entire mission and have them fill out forms, except I cannot touch them. So clearly, if they want my advice, and Dan was asking for advice.
Yeah, he was going to turn to you next, actually.
Of course. Well, obviously, we don't know if Nurse Daisy is cleared in any sense. So we cannot, I feel like Vizzini, we cannot choose the vial that is in front of you. But, we can, Darren, what happens if we split up?
What could happen to you? I mean, you're already a ghost.
He has a flashback to getting his arm ripped off.
How did you get your arm ripped off? Let's go flash back to that. How did you get your arm ripped off?
It was a demon situation. He was investigating an evil cult that was summoning a demon, and the demon went crazy and started ripping like the cultist heads off, and it ran off in a certain direction, and he thought it would be good to get a picture of it to do a good write-up. And he came out into a clearing, and the thing was like devouring somebody, and just turned around and grabbed him and ripped his arm off and threw him into just dropped him into the side of the woods. And then a bunch of API agents came out and kind of like fought it while he was kind of bleeding out. And one of the medics kind of like patched him up.
Oh, so Constantinian.
Went dark.
So Constantinian class 7 instead of a Lovecraftian.
There you go.
Oh,
John
that changes forms entirely.
Constantinian class 7. Okay. Cool.
All right. Yeah, I don't think splitting up is a good idea.
All right.
Yeah, I don't either.
I will prefer because I only have the office clearance, not the field clearance.
Okay, so I gotta ask Carl. So can you do anything about the way you look?
What's wrong with the way I look?
Well, nothing. You're an attractive man. Ghost. Whichever. But when you're walking around in public, like, this is the point, like, you'll notice Rizzo doesn't look like a rat man. He looks like Danny DeVito because of the imaging tech. But when you died, I'm guessing you didn't have imaging tech.
Nope.
No,
he doesn't.
that's why API provides imaging tech for spectrals. And I'll thank you to use the correct name, also living impaired.
Let me see what I can do here.
He could use mine.
She'll just grow a couple inches. She'll look like a giant human, but it's better than the other option.
Do I need to do anything to Claudius to make it work for him?
Yes, you would have to trick it out a little bit. Change the settings.
All right.
In fact, according to the source book, it's a special ectoplasm rejigger.
So you have to, you have to tweak it a bit, but you could make it jury rig it to work.
Which I'm doing. I'm at like a 28.
Yeah, you got it.
Or I could. It is possible that I could just fade away. I have no idea if that works, but I have only been a ghost for 12 minutes.
So I trick it out and I hand it to you. Here, try it.
No, you shove it into his chest. You just shove it directly into that ectoplasm and spectral chest and click it on for him.
Yeah. Turn it on.
All right. I have stir. I can actually turn it on.
Right. That's why I said that he has to. Right now, he can stick it in you and turn it on, but you can't do it yourself. You can't touch anything.
I thought I could release the ghost and turn it on and off, but maybe I can't.
Nope.
I have the gift that I can do that.
So I'll click it on, and because he has a dark sense of humor, Rizzo, he now looks like Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
And Rizzo just starts.
The imaging inducer also allows you to have more contact with the physical world, is my memory of what I read. So now you can actually interact with the world, whereas before you were moving through. So now you could go in and turn it off yourself, but you couldn't turn it on yourself because you couldn't actually interact with the material.
Actually, I can. I think if
you took the gift?
I have stir as a gift. Yeah,
okay.
Which allows me to interact with the physical world. But I'm sure it is much easier doing it this way.
It seems like it, yes. I'm sorry, I forgot that you might have taken that. Okay, well, now you have Patrick Swayze in your team.
If we hurry, we can get you back in time for pottery class.
This Roadhouse Patrick Swayze, Point Break?
No,
he sounds like a ghost.
It's Ghost Patrick Swayze.
Of course.
He said pottery class. Okay.
There is nothing sexy about that kind of pottery.
Well,
all right.
He is better looking than you, Rizzo.
Yes, he is.
So,
all right.
You guys have your spectral all fixed up. At this point, what is your plan?
Hey, Dan wants to go to the roof of the house and get a sense of just how far into the ocean this fire extends.
Absolutely, and you could have done that while Rizzo was trying to change the tech up. It's going to take a few minutes. So you go up there, and guess what? The family actually had a telescope up here.
Oh,
so you can even utilize that.
Yeah, he will.
Okay. So you would estimate several miles. And as you start scanning, why don't you give me a perception check? And I should open the character sheets up so I know what stats are what.
Yeah, because I know that the ship had supposedly had a little tip sticking up, right? The shunkins.
That it's capsized in the fashion where it's like this in the water instead of like this in the water. And so a portion of it is sticking out of the water right now. Because it was so close to shore, and there's an underwater cliff that it's basically resting on.
Right. So he rolled a 30, or I rolled a 34 for him.
Okay. So you can find basically off to the side of the capsized ship. You can find the capsized ship, and then off to the left side of the capsized ship, from facing it, you see the oil start to pool out, which is now on fire, and it is pooling and pooling, and it spreads. and you would estimate with a 34, probably 5 miles. On the right side, there's still some space to get up to the ship because the way that the oil, pooled out, it didn't go onto the right side of the ship. So the right side of the ship you guys can utilize. But left side and then pulling towards the shore and such, about 5 miles. And you do find some animals, by the way. When you're looking, you find some animals that are covered in oil and some that are covered in kelp, and they kind of, are coming up from the water for one reason or another, getting barbecued and dropping down into the water. Little situations like that across the 5 mile radius that you're seeing.
Oh man!
Barbecued sea lion.
Is there? He'll try to find a point. I imagine that there is a point on the shore where the fire doesn't extend to, even if it's 5 miles down or wherever, where we could take a boat.
Yeah, 5 miles. Perfect. It's not going to be at a port, but yeah, you have about 5 miles down.
Right. Okay. All right. He'll come back down.
Okay.
All right, folks. So it looks like we got a 5 mile trip to the shore where we can get into the water safely, and then we've got to secure a ship or a boat rather to get ourselves to the right side of that capsized vessel.
The USS Sarah.
Yes. Where are my notes? I had notes for all of this. Let me see. I think they're over there.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's the information you guys have at the moment. Hey, at least that barbecue situation got rid of all the muck that was all over you, Carl. That's getting rather handsy. All that ooze and muck.
Yes.
I am not sure how to feel about that.
Feel about what?
I could have bathed.
Oh, yeah.
Find your notes?
Yeah. No, I can't. I don't know what I did with them.
No problem.
But anyway.
What do you guys want to do then?
Well, is Anchorage, Alaska a lot like the rural prairies in Canada where everyone owns a truck or an SUV?
From the little bit that I do know about it through a couple friends, yes.
Okay. It's fairly late at night and people are distracted?
Yes. Clearly distracted because there's a big inferno trying to burn houses.
I will borrow a truck or an SUV.
Okay, you can borrow a truck or an SUV. That's not a problem. I'm not going to make you roll for it. You can, easily hotwire it. What do you guys do with that? And is it a truck or an SUV? Which one? If you get an SUV, it's going to be more like a Winnebago.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Winnebago it is.
We can hide in and work in. Something for the 5 mile drive. I don't want to walk 5 miles.
Okay. So you guys borrow the Winnebago and you guys drive down the 5 miles?
Yep. Are there any houses on the shore at the point that we are driving to, or in the area that we're driving to? Maybe with their own kind of personal docks with boats and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. The boats aren't fancy down around here. You have little rowboats, open air rowboats, but things that people can go out and enjoy the water, fish for whatever they want, come back, that kind of thing. A couple of rowboats even have some nets and some fishing equipment in it, but nothing fancy around this area. The fancy port was 5 miles up where you guys burned it.
Sure.
We had marinated marina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everything here is muscle powered. Nothing with even a small motor.
Unfortunately, not. I even rolled to see if chances on that, but no.
That's fair.
Everything is
all right, folks. All right, Rizzo, what do you think? Commandeer one of these suckers too, and muscle our way out there.
If we are looking for better options, perhaps some of the garages might have something. People here will often have a shelter for their boats because winters, I have heard, are very bad.
I think we set that part of town on fire, but I might be wrong.
I don't mind looking.
Yeah. Are there any boathouses?
Sure, there's one. Actually, why don't somebody roll me D100? And the reason why these boats are rowboats is that, like Brandon said, the winters are rough, and so they just turn them over with some stuff underneath, and then they leave it. That way.
79.
79. Okay, yeah, sure. You guys can find one house that has a boathouse to it.
All right.
Even if it doesn't have a boat, even if it has like an outboard that we can put on this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. You can. What do you guys do to go to the house? What do you do? What is the plan?
All right. Are we all gonna stealth over there?
Yeah, I can do.
Right. How do we feel about that? I don't know. I can. Looks over at Carl. He's probably good at it.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Follow your orders.
Oh, wow. I'm not like Hannibal from the A-Team here. I'm just okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, then let's just go. Let's just be quiet. Can we all be quiet? Let's just be sneaky. Go in there, see what they've got, and if they've got something, we take it, and then we move on. So we're gonna stealth up, Alice. He's gonna lead the way by basically, stealthing up there.
Okay.
25 on stealth.
Okay.
25
It's
on
agility,
stealth,
right?
okay.
Yep.
Agility stealth.
Yeah. I think it's agility.
Yes.
As you guys are approaching, go ahead and roll me your agility stealth on everyone.
I'm on a 19.
Okay.
I'm only at a 13. I rolled a 2 on the die.
Okay. Aldo, actually, let's see what Carl gets first.
Carl gets 22.
22. Okay. Aldo, since you rolled the 13, you drew the short straw. As you guys are crossing the living room, you guys notice that the lights in the house are on.
Why are we in the living room if we're going to their boathouse?
Yeah, we didn't want to enter the house.
No. Outside the living room, basically
Oh,
the window. The window.
All of a sudden, I have us tiptoeing
Garage.
through their living room. I'm like, how did we get here? I don't know.
No, you're outside. Garage and boathouse is next to the living room window. That's what I meant. I was like, wait, what am I saying wrong? Okay. So yeah, as you are tiptoeing by the window, it looks into the living room. Their shades are up and they're looking at the TV, and the TV's really loud, and there's a news broadcast on the TV about the fire and about the fact that what seem to be animals are starting to crawl up on fire, crawl up to shore, and attacking the firemen. And that's when somebody in the house turns and sees you in the window and screams.
Oh, wait. You said that they were looking at us and watching the TV, which means that we have a great source of light that is aimed at the window towards them, therefore blinding them to our presence outside in the middle of the night when it's dark.
That's fine. I see what you mean. Because of the glare, because the window glare. Sure, I'm picturing basically the TV is set up similarly to the TV in our house right now. So I can see there being glare. So yeah, the family, one of the kids looks out the window, doesn't seem to see you, but you did catch that because you kind of were like, ooh, look. And so you drew the short straw, and you see on TV that the firemen are being attacked. And by what seem to be seals and birds that are on fire. 5 miles away.
This would be great on the Sci-Fi Channel as a movie. There's it's like Sharknado adjacent. It's somewhere in there.
I'd like to say no animals were hurt in the making of this role-playing game.
I was thinking Roger Corman with a budget.
That works, yeah. Yes.
Okay. And yeah, because of that, the firemen are retreating. A couple firemen are down, and you're seeing basically this newscast breaking into whatever television they were watching because this is urgent news. Everybody is being told to shelter in place because this is clearly some sort of they don't know what, but people are being told to shelter in place while it's figured out. But firemen are retreating, which means some of the houses are burning, and therefore people are being evacuated from that area, including Daisy's home.
Okay. Oh, okay.
where you left Mr. Steve Harper, XO.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So that's what you see. While the rest of them, continue on. You stop and you watch this, and they're way past you at the boathouse at the houseboat at this, or boathouse, yeah, boathouse. Different than a houseboat.
I totally forget the whole stealth thing, and because I have had a lot in the last 12 minutes. Hey, come on.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he'll push on to the boathouse.
Okay.
See if they have an outboard motor there.
Okay. So you open you guys can, get it open. They didn't actually lock it up. It's just, they just pulled the door down on it. So it's easy to open.
Well, it was a nice neighborhood here until the fire.
I know, right?
Actually, no, that couldn't be true. I've seen the rest of Anchorage in Alice's mind.
Not that no. It's a nice neighborhood until you guys set it on fire. Anyways.
Alice, the filth on the tables were taller than the tables themselves.
That is actually a story from a friend of mine from Alaska who told me about one restaurant they went to like that, okay? I pulled it direct from a real restaurant, supposedly. So there, that's not in my mind. Anyways, and this was many years ago. Many years ago I heard this story. But it's stuck in my head. So
they still haven't cleaned the tables to this day in that restaurant.
That's kind of gross. Anyways, you guys open it up, and inside there is a rowboat flipped upside down in it. And roll me your search checks. You don't need to search too hard, but, I'm interested to see if you kind of just totally blind out and don't see it.
19?
Okay. So yeah, at that point, I'm going to say it's good enough. You found it. You can move it, and there is an outboard underneath the, being, sheltered underneath the upside down rowboat.
All right. So let's just take this rowboat and this motor. And by the way, do they have fire extinguishers?
Sure, they have two. They have 2 fire extinguishers.
Okay,
but
let's take fire extinguishers
the motor's only half filled with gas.
Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, but I bought like no, I don't think I bought kerosene. I don't think I bought like actual gas when I was like when we were buying stuff at the hardware store. It wasn't gasoline.
You bought gasoline at the gas station. You bought extra for the Molotov cocktails. That's true.
Right.
So you guys do have a tank of an extra bucket of gas.
Okay, good.
I slap my pockets and go, oh, sorry, no gas. It must have burned up.
Do you normally walk with gas in your pockets?
No, only when I'm going to an inferno.
Plan on these things often?
No, but there are rules.
All right, come on, let's get this out there in the water, and let's take these for Birdemic 2 Birds of Fire. Looks at the hoist up the fire extinguishers.
Birdnado.
I look quizzically at Dan.
At least Birdnado makes a little more sense than Sharknado, right?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Now, to be fair, the book literally has a sharkman or fishman in it. So if you guys do face that, it's not my fault that Sharknado was brought up, okay? Just saying. Okay. You guys
All right.
get on the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys start piloting. And yeah, you guys can start hearing painful screams of animals. And looking around, you can see off in the distance, some are coming out of the water and attacking whatever they can find.
Is John Cusack on the water holding a boombox up that's got Sarah McLachlan? I will remember you.
In case people can't tell, Brandon is practically, I think that Brandon is a card-carrying member of PETA. In secret. He just never told me. But yeah, he's a little upset with me for torturing in-game animals.
Horrific! Oh my gosh. Gives me nightmares, Lala.
I'm sorry. Okay. So, yeah, speaking of which, birds birds are coming at you guys. And like I said, these are like birds that are covered in oil and all, and they're on fire. Some are they're basically dive bombing because they don't have great control of their flight anymore because the oil.
But their
all over them.
bloodlust has been awakened.
So they're dive bombing you guys. So I'd like some initiatives if you don't mind. There are some birds on fire, and there's about there's a lot of them.
And I'm going to flinch every time because I'm not used to this.
Okay. So
I rolled so bad. I rolled a 9.
Aldo's on a 9. Okay.
Gotcha. Me.
And
I rolled a 5.
And you were the one that was aware of what would be going on out here, even. I
know. Can I? Are you allowed to blow focus points to change initiatives? Or to re-roll initiative?
You can. Yes, you can re-roll.
To re-roll, right? I'm going to do that.
Okay, you're going to blow a focus point to re-roll.
I rolled even worse. I rolled a 2 on the first one. I rolled a 1 on the second one.
So you're at an 8?
I have. Yes.
Okay. Rizzo, what about you? What's your initiative?
It is 18.
18. You know, Aldo, you're just in too much shock. You're like, I can't believe this is actually happening. Where are the film crews? You know, why aren't we filming a sci-fi movie right now? Apparently, that's what's going through your mind. Brandon, what about your initiative?
Taylor Swift song 22.
Okay, you are in 22. Brandon, your init is first. You see birds starting to dive bomb, and there are birds out in the distance that are doing similar things. There are animals covered in kelp and fire that are coming out and beating on people. Yep. We're going into true apocalypse mode, guys. And your job is to prevent it. Why is Brandon having that facial expression? What did I say, Brandon? What did I say?
It's poor birds. Well, what's going on? Are they actively dive bombing us at the moment? Are they preparing a bombing run? Are they going to fling flying poop at us?
They are. A couple of them have already basically swept by your boat near misses, but there are a lot more coming, and these look like they're better aimed. But you've got some near misses.
Rizzo is our tiller man.
Okay.
Is that accurate, Rizzo?
Yeah, I can be on the engine.
Cool.
So I will go ahead and get up onto stand up towards the middle of the boat, basically where I can shield people as these birds come in and try and bring them down as they're coming at us.
Okay. Well, your boat is wood, but it's lacquered wood, so firewood not good. Just so you know.
So I will try and balance well to keep weight distributed across the boat, basically.
Sure. So, my initiative comes up next.
I believe that we have an ornithological outbreak of flammability.
How much did you burn off your initiative for that?
You tell me.
I'll burn 2 off of you.
Okay.
Just to, you're balancing, you're trying to get all that. So at this point, whoo, 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 birds, come, wah, wah, squawking, coming in, and we're gonna dive bomb you a few times, Brandon. Just imagine all these birds on fire coming down at you guys. Ooh, that's an 8. Oh, bad. Sorry.
That my response was to take the hit. So
okay.
Because I'm hoping to gun some of these birdies down.
Okay. My second one. What are you doing?
Take the hit.
10.
That hits on the dot at that point.
Okay.
So I'm down to 18.
Okay. So you're down to 18. And taking the hit, you're going to take 1 fire. And 18
my uniform will my armor will soak that.
Okay. The next one, you taking the hit?
Yep.
Okay. That's an 18 that time.
So that's one boost.
So I can do 1 additional damage, which is what I'm going to do. 2 damage on this one. It lands you square in your chest against you as it dives bomb at you.
I look my armor up real quick, but you
Okay.
can keep on going.
Sure. Ooh, that's a 22.
Okay,
That's
well.
2 raises. And that is that's a 7. I rolled, one's a natural miss. So 22, 2 raises. It dive bombs you for 1 raise as extra damage, and the other one is going to, the other raise, it's going to do it in style. So it's going to dive bomb you, hit you square in the head, and basically knock your head back and be able to start climbing into the air again. The other ones are basically suicide bombing as they're coming down.
So me being there is doing nothing other than being a target of them.
Well, no, like the first 2, because they rolled so bad, they dive bomb down and they continued down into the water. One of them hit you in the chest, and that one's dead. The other ones are coming back up from the water, and then this one just was able to scope right back up. But some of them are speed bombing you. Yes, some of them. This one rolled bad enough. This one is gonna miss you, and so he's gonna come back later. And that one is plus 6 is 19. 19 is 1 raise on you, right? Yep, 1 raise.
Yes.
So 2 damage.
How many attacks is this? I'm so lost.
7th attack. 7.
7th attack, so I'm like at a 13 initiative now.
Okay, 13 initiative. Yeah, you're at a 13 initiative. And each of them took that off their init, and they're done. Okay, so Rizzo, your action is next.
I will attempt to gun the motor and get us out of here.
Okay, why don't you roll me some... Well, do you have a navigation skill of any sort? Let's take a look at your character.
I have travel.
Yeah, you have travel. Okay. So travel and insight, right? Well, no, agility right now.
Okay. And I got an extra person with them.
Because you're trying to steer. Actually, steering is more strength than agility, because those things, there's a lot of pushback. So power. Power and travel.
So I rolled a nat 20, which gets me to a 27.
Okay. Yeah, you just, put every bit of power into it, and you start pushing you guys out of the area. I'm going to take 4 initiative from you for that. Basically you're souping it up, giving the extra cranks and such. And so, Claudia, it's your turn now. Oh, no, Rizzo, it's your turn again.
Should probably be going again.
Rizzo, it's actually your turn again.
I'm just going to get us. I'm trying to get us out of the dive bombing birds.
Okay, cool. 10.
Seeing what happened to Claudia, I don't picture a world where we're fighting these things because there's just too many of them.
Okay. Brandon, it is your turn next. And I'm well aware that I did not use birds right now.
All right, well, they're not going to be anywhere near me if he's gunned it, so...
Yep, so you're clear at this point.
Okay. I will go ahead and use my stance, is it? Swift Claws Peaceful. I'm going to summon Inner Strength.
Okay.
Which is going to burn 4 off my initiative.
Okay, 9. At this point, you guys, Rizzo's going to get another action. So 3 actions out. You guys are going to be able to outdistance these birds and get away from basically the fire line, literally the line where, the end of that fire is. You're getting further away, and so you're going to be able to be away from these birds. I didn't get much of attacks on you guys.
I am looking right now.
She's definitely smoldering a bit here and there. There's fire on her. So, you probably want to get that patted out.
I will gladly pat to know.
And Brandon is checking how bad he is.
Yeah.
I believe your armor that you have takes it off each hit.
Yeah, but I haven't been taking a -2, so I'm basically going to be in a level down armor because I forgot to take the -2. So, meditate for a second when they can recover a focus, blah, blah, blah. Focus to health or vice versa. It doesn't really talk about whether that lethal or not works for that, because those are actually lethal.
Lethal. Fire is lethal.
Yeah.
It doesn't, so I'm going to say yes until we find out otherwise from Eloy.
Yeah, I'll just be looking.
Yeah, I'll say yes until you find otherwise. So yeah, she's got some burns on her, but she seems to be basically troopering through at the moment. And her patternness, you guys know, allows her to heal faster than you guys.
Okay.
So you guys book it for the boat, and you guys pull up on the boat. And yeah, in the distance, you guys see this scene still happening, and more animals seem to be coming out of the water at the moment.
All right. Yeah.
And as you guys get close to the boat, you guys hear this rumbling, this deep, earthly rumbling. Like when you guys hear thunder, really loud thunder in your house, and how your house starts to shake, that kind of rumbling. And you can feel it pulsing through your boat just as you're getting close. And you can see that the bottom of the boat, where you got on the side that you guys are at, it seems to basically be eroding with something. That there's this hole that it looks like basically there's an acid bore hole.
So we're sinking.
Oh no, in that ship.
Oh, in their ship.
Yep, in that ship.
This would be appearing on our boat. Okay. All right. How big is the hole?
The hole is probably the size of a double door at this point.
Okay.
And that's above water that you can see. Now, once again, like it's like the ship is like this, and it seems to be resting on something. How precariously, you don't know, but it definitely has, about a third of the ship is above the water, and laps of the waves are coming up and off of it. You can see that basically there's this pile of cargo containers on top of it that have basically slid down, and so it's kind of precariously stacked on the deck, like bad Jenga. And
All right, there it is.
Yep, USS Sarah.
There it is. Looks pretty treacherous.
Roll me perception checks, everyone.
And yes, Alice, it per 93, it can work on either type of health.
Okay, that's what I thought I remembered reading, but I was, but I was not 100% sure.
13, 15 if it's sight or sound.
Okay. I rolled a 19, but this is like the third 3 or 2 or 1, right? I've rolled like 3 3s, 3 2s, and a 1. Yeah.
You're just saving it for the boss. You're just saving it for the boss.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I rolled a 19 though, because I'm really good at that.
John and Rizzo. Carl and Rizzo.
Is it IQ added to perception?
Insight most often.
Insight.
Oh well. Okay. So that becomes 18.
Okay, Rizzo.
Yeah, also an 18 or a 21 if it involves smell or hearing.
Okay. The rumbling is just too distracting for any of you to really feel or see or to really hear anything else right now. And the closer you guys get to that, the stronger and louder that thrumming and rumbling is. How shaking
does
thunder.
It sound like an engine?
No, it does not sound like an engine. It sounds like basically thunder rumble. Which I guess, thunder rumbling, it can be kind of like those monster truck engine sounds. So yeah, it might sound a little bit like an engine.
All right, folks. So, looks over at Carl. I wonder if there's any way we can do some recon on that ship before we start putting any heavy weight on it. Looks back over at Carl again. If there's any way that we can kind of, I don't know.
If you're trying to say something about the fact that I'm recently living impaired, then yes, I will do it, and I will write you up to HR.
And
he's going to choose to ignore the second half of that sentence. Oh man, that's really nice of you. Thanks. I didn't want to be too pushy about it, but yeah. Like going and doing recon, that seems perfectly suited to your talents. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you failed on the fail to be too pushy.
Sorry, man.
I will spend a focus point so that I can fly to the ship.
Okay.
because that is apparently what I have to do. And then I will just, unless there is some kind of magical resistance, I'll just go through the wall,
Okay.
the hull.
Before you go through the hull, I'm also going to let you guys know that given the size of your rowboat, you guys basically pull up into that hole and, jam it in, lock it in basically, because it'll just barely, at the widest point of your boat, or near the widest point of your boat, you could fit that hole. So part of your boat could fit in that hole. And before I jump to you, John, I want to find out what the rest of them will be doing while you are scouting.
Mostly I'm leaning over right now to Dan and going, God, Casper's a natural. Look at him go.
Yeah, right? Right? He should have always been in the field.
He's like a pro.
I'm proud to serve with him. This is great.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
That's what Rizzo's doing. He's admiring Casper's moxie.
Okay, Carl.
He's playing a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, Carl. Yeah.
Go Dan.
Oh no! I thought you were asking the rest of us.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, if you're doing Carl Kolchak, that's fine.
No. Although this character is kind of inspired by Carl Kolchak, but no, Dan is he's playing along with Rizzo, but he'll also be scanning the waters as we're talking and stuff, and see if just keeping an eye out to make sure we're safe.
Okay, Brandon, what are you going to be doing while he's scouting?
I am going to be keeping an eye out on for dangers, including flaming birds or sea life.
Okay. So I'll get back to the three of you later. At the moment, John, you are going up to the ship, and before you even get down in the hull, like I said, on top of the deck, this diagonal deck at like a good 45-degree angle, there's this.
It's listed.
Yeah, it's all these crates have gone in, the cargo crates have gone and slipped down, and there's this just pile of precarious Jenga. And you notice. Well, actually, roll me your insight. Roll me insight perception again. This is gonna be a different check, and we're gonna use this one for the entire time on the ship, unless something big happens. So we'll just keep this check for a while.
Okay, let me just look up what the numbers are for me. 15 plus a.
Suspense is killing us, guys. Dun, dun. If he adds +1, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
People are thinking that I'm doing this just to increase the
suspense.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
34.
34. Okay.
24.
Oh, 24. 24. They're hazmat suits. You see a couple of the containers seem to be open from the trauma, and you see hazmat suits on the deck.
I don't think they have the forms for this.
And you also see scratches on the metal and on the deck that you can't describe what caused them. They're not claws. They're not teeth. You can't figure out what it is because, claw marks are pretty consistent. These are kind of like they crisscross each other at times. So,
okay.
You're gonna float down?
I'm actually feeling kind of cocky on the whole not living thing.
Okay.
Even though I know that realistically you're about to do something that will do awful things to me, I will look a little further.
You will look a little further. Okay. So you start floating over there. And that's when the suits that you see, basically shadows out of the corner of your eyes for a second, and you just kind of, dart your eyes back and forth. You look back. No, you don't see anything on the corner of your eyes, but when you look back, you see basically the same oil, the oil spill from the oil. It starts to pool up from somewhere deeper in the containers, and it rises into these hazmat suits, and they come up filled with oil. You and I need to go into initiatives. There are 5 of these currently filling up.
Well, yes, sure. Why not? Oops.
So what is your initiative?
My initiative is 6 plus 13, 19.
19. Okay, you do get to go first. The hazmat suits, the masks where they are, the bottom of the mask seems to be the masks all seem to be compromised, and so parts of this oil start to drip out, and then like they seem to try and form faces, but most of the expression is gone. Like some of them have these scream mouths that start to open up with dripping crude oil, and then some have these eyes that are opening with oil dripping down across over them. And it starts to ooze out of the compromised areas of the front of the hazmat faces. You're first in it.
I believe the correct phrase here is run like hell.
Okay.
And there's like this moment
Mhm.
when he is so scared that his feet don't grip on anything, and he actually does a cartoon running in place because he has forgotten how to make his body do something
Uh-huh.
in the real world.
Okay.
And then, as if it were an episode of Scooby-Doo, he then takes off, and if possible, I'm going to mix it with trying to go down through the floor. So I'm running downstairs, except there's no stairs. I'm just slowly getting sucked into the deck and heading towards the rowboat.
Sure. When you get down in the deck, when you go below the hull, you see a big oval-shaped portal of energy. And you, as you're coming down into that, you can feel that that's where that rumble is coming from, and it's this just portal of blue and black hole. As you
Clearly,
keep running, flying towards the boat.
I'm lost because I thought I was heading to the boat, not seeing a giant portal.
The portal's behind you, both that way.
Now the portal's behind me, thank goodness. But resemblance to a cartoon will stop because I'm not going to go humana when I get there.
And the rumble right by that portal is like, it makes your ears almost ring. If you have ears left.
I don't remember that part. So, yes, I will pop out of the bulkhead there, and there's the boat. I'm still floating because I think that focus point gets me to the end of the scene anyway. And portal, ooze monsters, hazmat suits, bad. Forgotten verbs.
All right.
Remember everything you saw when they ask why we set the fire.
Okay, maybe I am slightly willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. Fire extinguishers wrong. Candles, Roman torches, those would be good.
What's an ancient torch have to do with this?
The Romans invented torches. It's okay. We'll teach you later.
Okay.
Carl makes stuff up if he needs to.
All right then. Well, you said there was a portal, and you said there were hazmat suits, animated hazmat suits. So,
having realized that breathing doesn't actually do anything to calm me down, because breathing doesn't do anything, I forced myself to be calm. I explain what I saw. I said there are 5 of the oil things animating, possessing hazmat suits, and below decks is a giant portal that's the source of the sound. I mean, it has a really big portal look, so I'm thinking it's a portal and not just like a giant mirror they're planning to turn on. So,
One other thing, because you did roll high enough to see this as you were taking off, whether you register it consciously or not and tell the party, it's up to you. The oil is coming out of that portal. It is like literally gushing like a river with a current coming out of that portal.
Oh well, then it's not a mirror at all. Yes, I will. I will tell them that's the source of the alien ooze oil.
All right. So,
Well, my part is done. Go ahead and blow things up.
all right. Well, it looks like we got to tangle with some animated hazmat suits. I think we should keep the fire to like nothing, right?
I 100% agree. In fact, I'm worried about shooting them because I don't want to spark that oil.
Right.
Couldn't we, I realize I went through a wall, but wouldn't it be possible for us to actually get to the portal instead of dealing with the hazmat suits entirely?
Yes, you're correct.
Is it? Oh, it is.
Oh, if it's possible. Perfect.
Remember, there's
Yeah,
in the hull of the ship, there's that hole that you guys could basically pull your boat up to, and
Yeah.
John would have gone in and gone left and down towards the bottom, towards the water line to see where the portal is. So the portal is like here. You guys would be pulling in here. Ship is this way. You guys pull in about here, and the portal's like here.
Okay, great. And where are the hazmat suits?
They're
top.
up on
the
top.
deck.
Perfect.
On the
Perfect. Perfect. All right, let's do this.
I realize it exposes us to an attack from two flanks, but on the other hand, the portal is the bigger problem.
Yeah, I agree. All right, perfect. Yeah, that makes me much happier. All right, let's do this then.
Okay.
He's gonna, put on a flotation vest if they had any in the boat,
Okay.
just in case.
Yep.
And then head in.
Okay, you guys gonna jump out of the boat and go in, or are you pulling the boat into that hole?
Pull the boat into
it. Jump into that water with the oily substance on it.
Okay. You guys are like, don't touch. Got it.
Just a hint. Just a hint.
Okay. You guys pull the boat in, and as you basically, jam yourself in, like I was saying, down here, that rumbling is so much louder. Maybe it's because it's echoing off the metal itself. In every direction, but it's getting louder and louder. And to your left, you look down, and it's dark in here because there's now, basically no light coming in since you guys blocked the light. But you guys can feel basically a current pushing against you guys. You guys don't really see anything down below, but you guys can feel a current pushing up from this area of the ship against the side of your boat. And it's dark in here. What do you guys do?
All right, well, normally it's in all my instincts to leave a sinking ship, but screw it.
All right, what are we going to do about light? I've been using my cell phone, but my cell phone's dead.
That's why you had my cell phone.
It's gone. Okay, I still have yours?
Yeah,
all right.
She gave you hers.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was still the case. Okay, so he will... I mean, that's a short battery life. Do we have any other light sources?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, great. I glow because I have effects, whatever. But I'm not sure it will be enough to do anything other than say, "Oh, meet over there by the glowing thing."
I think you basically give off the same as a candlelight. So 5 to 10 foot dimness. So they can see about 10 feet with you. Okay. So with that, you guys can make out just barely what seems to be an oval portal that's half submerged in the water, and a current of black, that black ooze, but an obvious current of it moving up against you guys.
And this is as we're still piloting the boat through?
No, your boat's jammed in at this point. It's down to your left. And, the light just reaches basically the edge of the light, just barely gives you the visibility on that portal, on that circular portal.
Okay. And to get the portal, is it in an area of the ship where it's submerged in water or partially submerged in water?
Partially submerged. So
It
like
is.
half the portal is below the water.
Half of it is. Half of it is. Okay. Oh man.
Puzzle apocalypse.
I don't know. Does anybody here know how to shut down a portal? I don't know how to shut down a portal. Carl, do you know anything about magic or extra dimensional stuff?
Oh, let me check. I will go over.
I don't think he's checking.
I will go look behind it. How's that?
All right. Yeah, that works.
Okay, so
I do
turn on the cell phone light at that point.
Since
he's taking the.
Are you like going to go through the portal? Because
I am not going through the portal.
So you're going to go out of the boat, come back in on the other side because it's basically taking up the whole space. Okay, come back in on the other side. Okay, the other side looks basically you look through and there's no breach or anything. It would just be like normal scape. You see your party on the other side with the flashlight, and there's nothing in between you.
Let me just get this straight. There's a TV show called Farscape, but this is Normalscape.
Ba-dum-bum. That was syntactically a joke. So, then I will explore the extent of my non-livingness, and I'm going to stick my head underwater, seeing as I apparently don't breathe anymore, and I faintly glow. Mm-hmm. So let's just see, is there anything at the bottom edge of the portal?
So as you go underwater, there's definitely that prism effect from your glowing, and you can see that there is some sort of invisible barrier that you kind of just can see through.
Okay, so whatever is, I will go back carefully and say, look, I don't know. It's not like there's a giant portal frame or anything. It's just there. And kind of hard to get to. So either I'm thinking create a giant anti-magic field. The vermin can do that, I'm sure. Or we push a nuke into it. It worked in the Avengers.
Well, I'm fresh out of anti-magic fields, but normally when I want to get something to stop working, I cut the power source, but I'm not sure how we do that.
No, wait, we didn't authorize you for a nuke.
Yeah, that's right, you didn't.
Oh. Yeah, well, if you didn't request them every damn week.
You guys feel bump underneath you guys.
The dolphins are coming to attack us.
Like the ones from the 72 undefeated season, those dolphins?
Well, the three of them are conferring, Brandon. I'm gonna, give them that conferring scene. You get to roll a check though, because I know that you've been very adamant about being on watch.
Bob Greasy attacks.
A 15 or 17 if it's sight or sound based.
There's movement in the water, Brandon.
Dolphins can be weird. I read it.
You can't see.
I believe that there is some sea life, or perhaps zombies. We called them zombies earlier, correct? That are near us.
Oh, geez, where? He's looking around. You gotta make on them. Where are they?
I point. There's been strange movement there that was not. It was not like that when we first arrived.
Wait a second. Right. You called them zombies earlier? That's an infraction.
Turn and I say, Rizzo said that when we're in the field, we don't play by those rules.
Yeah, you
The animated extra supernumeraries is what we're supposed to call them.
but bump, bump. You guys feel another bump from underneath your boat. This one a bit harder.
All right.
I head down through the boat.
You see what look to be octopus arms knocking up underneath, and it seems to be feeling around.
Stick my head up. It's okay. It's a mollusk.
And you guys hear something in all of your minds suddenly.
I thought we were specifically worried about them mauling us.
You guys hear this a voice that mimics that deep rumbling that you guys are hearing from the portal, saying "home" in your heads.
Oh boy. Home?
Home in your minds.
Dan, I believe I am hungover again.
Hang on, kid. Hang on. All right. Hello? Can you hear my thoughts?
Hungry.
What was that?
I said, it said hungry that time.
Okay.
Repeating that voice might hurt my throat, so I may stop. Because I feel it. Woo.
He's going to think, can you hear me and do you understand?
I feel food.
I think it wants to eat us. Did you guys hear that?
All of you heard it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's just confirming.
I'll still try. Can we help?
Get in my belly.
Just confirming.
You're a rat man?
Yep.
You don't get a response.
I'm going to start taking mental notes because I'm suddenly thinking of the bunch of us. I'm probably going to come out of it.
Boom, boom. That bottom of your boat. This time it's so much harder that you know your boat kind of thudung like that for a second.
Lurches up in the water.
Yep, lurches up in the
Let's take it easy. We have quite a bit of flammable stuff here, so don't get any funny ideas. You eat us, you're going to get a belly full of fire. He'll go grab one of the cans. He'll go grab one of the cans of gas.
Okay. A tentacle, like an octopus tentacle, an octopus arm, like comes up around the boat and smacks onto the deck of it, and seems to be reaching around like it's blind or something, and then pulls back. Well, actually, it's going to be on there. Let's give you guys reactions. So, what thump? A big tentacle arm hits the deck. Reactions. Aldo, you first.
Step back, and reach for his the spray paint can that he had before.
Okay.
And his lighter, but don't use it yet. Just be ready to fire gout of flame if he needs to.
Rizzo, your reaction.
I will also step back, but he's going to actually take time now to. Can we still see the portal?
Yeah, just barely because of where your ghost is and the flashlight and all.
Okay. I'm going to study that portal the best I can. Again, like I said before, if I want to make something not work, I got to turn the power off. I'm going to see if I can figure out what turns the power off to that thing.
Okay. Carl, your reaction?
I make an embarrassed sound, kind of like, say, a preteen girl.
Okay.
And really, I'm more comfortable, in the office forms. So any bravado I had before is gone.
Okay. If you could pee yourself, you would, but you don't have a body to do that anymore.
If I fiddle, maybe I can make it look like Patrick Swayze peed himself, but I don't have enough wherewithal in my brain to do that.
Totally get it. Brandon.
You could slime yourself.
Yeah, you slime yourself. That would work. Would you like
Different
to slime
movie.
yourself? Brandon, what about your reaction?
Ahead and try and use my discipline as I am hearing this thing in my mind. That no, we are not food. Go back through your portal. There's food there.
Oh. Oh. Hungry. And it tries to feel around for, one of you to grab. It seems to fail as you guys move, away from it, and it pulls itself off the deck and withdraws back into the water.
All right. All right. I mean, it would make sense that it came from that portal, right?
Sure,
don't-
but I'm not sure it makes sense as something we normally deal with. But I like the idea that it come from that portal.
Right. And so if that's home, why can't it get through the portal to go home? And then it might be that it can't perceive the portal because I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe it can't. Or it can't get up there for some reason. Maybe it's pinned down or something. It either can't see it or it's pinned down, which might explain why it's hungry if it can't go around like hunting for food, right? So I don't know.
I mean, it could just be an octopus possessed by the crazy oil, and I don't know. But this talking in our heads thing is new.
Yeah.
Maybe it's got close to the port. I don't know.
Was the octopus tentacle like ginormous octopus tentacle, or was it like one that would occur in nature?
It was on the very
I mean,
large side of nature.
Okay, like giant squid level large, or more normal. More smaller than that.
I don't really have the background to know, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like octopus unscrewing the jar so it can escape. It was more like octopus from a Warner Brothers cartoon.
Well, roll me a knowledge check to see if you can figure this out.
Who?
People who are interested in
yeah?
is this a natural sized octopus?
Okay, I rolled a 13. My IQ is pretty normal though. I think I have a 3. Let's see. So 13, 16, and then is it like, I don't think I have any. Would it be knowledge?
Yeah, it's knowledge.
I have 16, so
knowledge
that's
IQ.
22.
You are familiar that the North Pacific, so off the shores of Oregon, Washington, Northern California, British Columbia, Alaska, and all, there are giant octopus, and the giant octopi in these waters can be over about 600 pounds and 30 feet across.
Okay, so this is that type of thing.
This is a pretty giant octopus. If it is a natural one, the
Right.
tentacle was pretty freaking big.
Okay.
Brandon, you're trying to focus, and why don't you, let me see here. I need 2 skill checks. One is going to be from Brandon. For your focus, what are you trying to do, basically? You're trying to tell it to go back into its portal?
We're not food, and if it wants food, it should go back there.
Okay.
I'm concentrating on.
Sure. You are mostly human, right? You're a human pattern? So mostly human, yeah.
I'm technically a demon under their classifications, but yes, I am basically an engineered person.
Okay, you're a cloned human. So your synapses should work the same way. So I'm gonna give you a vigor and IQ. Vigor and Fortitude. Let's go vigor and fortitude to try and do that concentration.
Okay, not discipline.
Discipline, sure. Sorry, yeah, discipline.
I'm just wondering, because fortitude's like a fort save, discipline's more like your mental reserves that you trained.
I missed that. It's vigor and discipline. I missed it because I was looking at deception, looking for discipline, but didn't see it. So why don't you make me that roll?
32.
Okay, 32. You hear, and only you hear, and prisoner.
Are you a prisoner?
Or kind. Rizzo, roll me that perception insight that you were trying to examine the, this side of the portal.
Okay. That gets me to a 20.
Okay. Nothing.
Okay.
It's saying that it's a prisoner now. That something about our kind has trapped it here. I think that we need to set it free.
From above the deck, dripping ooze starts to drip down onto the boat from the deck.
Oh no!
Starting
Hazmat.
down along the side of the hull. Rip, rip, rip in small bits right now.
All right, guys. We don't have much time here. We got to make some decisions.
You would suggest, Dan?
I don't know. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I don't know how to close that thing. I got no idea.
Can you close the portal? Try and concentrate at it.
Oh, concentrate at it?
Uh-huh.
And you start to see an image in your mind, Brandon. It's very fuzzy image. Like, it has to concentrate to show you. And the image, and then Aldo, you start picking this up as well. Fuzzy images.
Okay.
And then eventually, Rizzo, you're going to get some of this. But right now, these two, what you see, Brandon, to start with, you see a lab, more like a military base, actually. You see a military base type lab, so it's all metallic and all. And you see this cylindrical machine with dials all over it. And you hear very distorted, and then this is when, Aldo, it kicks in for you. You see that a cylindrical machine, and you hear, both of you hear in very distorted words, containment secured, ready for transport. And Rizzo, at that point, you join in and you start seeing, once again, that's all fuzzy. You guys can't make out the faces or anything. And you see, basically, looking at that machine, there's a miniature version of this portal spinning inside it. All three of you see that. And then you see a blue cargo crate in your minds. And that blue cargo crate gets loaded onto this boat, the ship. And then nothing else. But all three of you saw that last bit.
The ship is underneath the water.
Half the ship, a little over half the ship. So like a third of it is completely out of the water. And then there's some that's, so about half the ship is completely submerged. I couldn't hear that last part, Brandon. You are coming in.
I said okay.
Okay.
So what then? That portal was in a containment module of some sort, and then you hear
glass breaking
cracked
in your
open.
mind. When you're
Okay.
asking that in your mind, you hear glass
Alright.
break.
And it broke. The containment field broke. So we can't like search for it and put it back together. That's not going to work.
Perhaps
All right.
we could build something better.
I can't. Looks
Yeah,
over
if
at Rizzo.
If I can find that blue container and what it looked like, I could maybe jury-rig something.
All right. There's a plan.
So
There's a
Else, am
plan.
I able to kind of figure out where that might have been on the ship based on what we saw?
you can try and extrapolate, but Brandon, when you asked how are you a prisoner, that's what it showed you. That why it was trapped, that's what it showed you. Now that they got late parts of that same scene, so they don't tie it together the same way. But you understand, that's what you understand, is this is how it understands itself to be trapped here. And you can try and extrapolate where, which crate it would be based on where it was loaded in the ship. It should basically be somewhere on the above water part of the precarious Jenga.
Can I pick that crate out, or is it just a nondescript blue crate among nondescript blue crates?
Why don't you roll me a insight discipline, because you are concentrating so hard on it. Anybody else who wishes to get like some identifiable mark on it that sees it can also try insight discipline for me.
31.
Okay. Yeah, you get basically half the crate tag. Like there's half the serial number that you get.
So this boat was coming here, correct?
This boat was
it was on its way to Anchorage. They hadn't stopped here yet.
Right. They were heading to Anchorage for a resupply and basically, to fuel up and then to move on. Its next destination was down in Southern California or in California.
Oh, okay. I thought that it did the coastal route basically.
It did. It does,
stuff.
And it is not a military boat, but
nope.
But there seemed to be actually. That reminds me, John, Carl, roll me intellect knowledge. I don't hear you.
That's because I didn't press the button. 13 plus 5 plus 4, 22.
Because you are so inundated with paperwork and API has tenuous relations with the government, you realized now that you're not trying to pee out of a body part that you don't have anymore.
You took that away from him?
I
will remember you.
Those hazmat suits are government issue. They're like black site government issue type things. Experimental unit. Yeah.
And I will volunteer this information if it's at all useful. So this might be government stuff or shuffling around black ops items. I mean, I can go up and look. I do not want to do that, but I could.
So look, are black ops worse than ops of other colors?
Yes. Even though it's racist to say it.
It's kind of like an agency of Men in Black experimental type place.
The Apocalypse Experiment Group.
Yep.
Unit.
Yep.
So AEU.
Yep, AEU. We'll go
or
with
API.
AEC.
AEC, sure.
Committee. Council.
Go.
So yeah, Alice, can I go ahead and try to move up the boat while avoiding the water lines and such?
So you're gonna climb the hull?
Yeah, I want to see if I can climb, basically,
Sure.
jump from our position to somewhere further up,
Yeah.
and basically parkour around without getting to the water.
Okay. Totally. If you can make basically you can make a long jump over to the ladder because they've got the built-in ladders against the hulls, the metal. You can totally try to do that.
31.
You totally can get up to the top as it drip, drip, drip. And every once in a while, it's still that the thunk from under the boat to make it lurch because it still seems to be trying to feel around for something.
So out, I want to go and start looking around. And if this thing was in a container at one point, I don't know if they were only transporting it or if they were doing some sort of experiments while they were on the ship here. Um, but yeah, if it was, that container should be opened in some regard,
Okay.
and likely based on what's going on here, damaged.
Okay.
And so I've got a couple of bits of information, and so I'm kind of trying to piece together if I can find a source before
Sure.
I bother the rest of them.
So the hazmat suits, as you climb up on the deck, though, you notice that basically all 5 of the hazmat suits are up against the edge, looking down at your ship. And so as you come up, these 5 would be there. So before you actually get on
Is
deck.
is that moved from where John said they were?
Yes.
They're like
They
impossible astronauts.
they were they were on top of they were on the hull, and so now they are now up against the thing. And yeah, the impossible astronaut's a pretty good image. And
I
like I
do
said, the
not
facial
believe that.
parts broken, and so the dripping onto the hull and your boat down below is the oil oozing out of the facial broken pieces of the face mask, dripping.
I do not believe that we are alone here.
Are you gonna get on deck with them up against the edge, looking down? Drip, drip.
Sure, they don't seem to be interested in the fact that I don't think we're alone. They want me to deal with it.
Party?
So they're obviously deceased individuals. You're saying?
Um, what you see basically are suits that are, filled with what look to be that black oil ooze. Yeah, black oil. You don't actually
This
see any
deceased,
form of body. Sorry, what was that, John?
sorry, this deceased individual will accompany because I said I didn't want to go upstairs, but I would do it.
Okay. You're
I'm
gonna
just
fly up.
worried. I'm just worried. Most of the way I deal with things is shooting them with bullets, and I'm worried that's going to set them up like make them.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm
I
stuck at fighting, and I also shoot a gun. So, but you'll go up there to not back you to back you up in any way you can.
Okay.
So,
So how do the rest of you want to get up there? I know he flies. I know he, parkour. The other 2 of you are gonna need a little extra help because the ladder to go up is a little bit of a jump, to hop over.
I've got a reasonable athletics.
Okay, sure. Go jump
Free
over to
plan I
grab on.
come up with to climb.
Power or vigor? What would you like me to roll?
Power.
24.
You grab on. You actually, you almost touch that water line and that oil, but you manage to grab on because this is actually a pretty long distance, and you grab on and you climb up. You're right behind Claudia.
yeah, I'm not gonna make it.
Okay.
I'm gonna look around. Is there like a fire hose or a shipping crane, like things? If they've got crates in here, they've got to have some kind of thing to move them around.
Oh yeah, they definitely have pulleys and such, but you're not on the deck yet.
So when I get up there, I'm gonna get something down for Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also
So why don't we at this point go into initiatives because we have a good idea that we're going to be getting into something. So Brandon, you are going to jump onto the deck. I heard.
Yeah.
And we have a ghost that comes up on the deck with you. So why don't we go into initiatives? Everyone roll. We know where everybody is. So Aldo, what are you on?
10.
10. Okay. Rizzo, what are you on?
20.
20. Okay. Um, Brandon, what are you on?
I rolled a 20, which is going to put me up at 31.
31. Okay. And
And that will net me a focus back.
oh yeah. By the way, if you roll a natural 20, get a focus. If you roll a natural 1, lose a focus. And now,
Oh, I've done one of those.
yeah, every time you roll a 1 or a 20, make sure you do that. And last but not least, our resident Carl. What is your name?
27.
7. Okay. Brandon, your nit is first, obviously, in case people didn't know that.
Okay. Since they just look like goo in bodysuits, I am going to go ahead and drop into them. I will unsheath claws,
Okay.
and then Claudia will go ahead and try and cut through.
Okay. Ching, ching, ching. Okay.
I'll give it +5 to its reaction roll.
Okay. How many are you going to
Okay.
cut through?
Well, that's based on my boosts.
Okay. Ooh.
So that is 42.
You claw into, well, wait. 3 plus 6 is 9, and 8 plus 6 is 14. So
14.
I have a, yep. So I have a 9 on, I thought you were going to do 2, I apologize, but I have a 9. My one defense is a 9.
Okay, you have a 9, so 42, that's a difference of 33, that's 8 boosts. So, you said there's 5 suits?
5 suits.
Alright, so I'll use half of my boosts for extra targets to run through all of them, and I'll do 8 lethal to each one.
How many claws do you have?
I'm X-23, basically, so
2
it's,
claws?
2 claws each side.
Okay, and you do 8 lethal to each one?
Yep.
Okay, you guys now have, so the suits shred with the way you just did that. Shing, shing, shing. And forming out of the floor, the deck, the puddles of ooze that of oil that just kind of spurts. You now have 15 that are significantly smaller.
And so what
swarming
it
around.
will be is I basically do get to a point and then jump off from there into a cut just across, because you had all 5 of them lined up.
Yep.
And so I run down the line of them.
And now it splatters everywhere around you guys, and then up around you guys, starts to form 15 smaller ones. Claudia, how many init did that take you?
That will take 5 initiative.
Okay, that will put you at 36. 26, I mean, and that means Carl, you are next. 15 unbodied oozes, like there's no shape, there's no suit, there's nothing that it's clinging on, and so they're kind of trying to bubble up and down and up and down kind of thing. It's kind of almost like this it's breathing, but it's like ooze up, ooze down.
All right, well, I'm going to experiment with my new form a bit and see what happens if I stand in one.
Okay.
Now, I know from reading the rule book that it's -2 to everything it does because it has this unnatural whatever in it. But Carl doesn't know that yet. So
do that.
let's stand in it and see what happens.
Now, here's the funny thing. You stand in it, and you literally feel this pulse of energy go through you, and you're also going to be suffering -2 while you're standing in it. They'll be suffering -2, but you'll be suffering -2 as well.
Sure, why not? Hey.
Okay. How many init did that take you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I am going to go stand in a place. I think that's a.
I believe that's 3.
Okay.
Oh, Brandon, your initiative is next.
Alright, so now there are 15 of these.
Yes. And these 15 of these, when Carl stepped into one of them, because these are all kind of connected with the puddles of ooze and all, the all 15 of them start to basically vibrate a little bit. And you guys are all API agents, so why don't you all roll me knowledge intellect checks? I heard Brandon say 5, but I didn't hear it on air. I heard it across in the other room. Are you on key activation,
16
Brandon?
for me.
Are you on key
8.
activation, Brandon?
No.
Okay. You need to go and change your sensitivity because we're sometimes picking up starting your third word. I can figure out what you're saying because you're in the other room, but John, what were you? What'd you say?
With the -2, 15.
Okay. Rizzo, what about you?
24.
Okay. Aldo.
16.
Okay, Rizzo, you remember studying because of all that engineering stuff you do and the tweaking of bandwidths and such and you're studying an API. The looking at the oozes and looking at Carl, all of them when Carl stepped into it, they all started vibrating and humming, kind of like there was a frequency change. And you remember this to be something related to planar collisions, that when different planes of existence collide, the dimensional realities start to basically vibrate against each other and start to basically fight in like this almost magnetic, bandwidth kind of issue. And so that's what's happening to the oozes and to Carl right now.
So I think we're dealing with some interdimensional weirdness here.
It feels bad.
Yeah, I just don't know how to deal with it.
Claudia, your
Try
initiative.
being in.
Sorry, John.
Claudia can go ahead.
Not hearing you. Nope. Adjust the sensitivity down, not up. Remember. So the bar should go towards the
Are
left.
you hearing me now?
Yes, hearing you now.
Mm-hmm.
It's always activated though.
That's fine right now. At least we can hear you. I was missing, 3 or 4 words at times from you. Before it activated.
Have they done anything?
Oh, have they? No, right now they're not doing anything.
Yeah. This is the same thing as the oil that's on things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. But this is without, any home to it. Whereas everything else, it was basically using it as like symbiotic in a fashion and this one, there's nothing that it's holding on to at the moment.
I will go ahead and lash out again.
Okay.
Uh, 34.
34. Okay. Oh my gosh, my rolls just suck. I got an 11. So 34 minus 11 is 23. So you got 5, I believe. 2 every 4, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So 5 boosts.
5 boosts.
So why don't I go ahead and do 3 lethal I'm sorry, 5 lethal to 4 of them.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think you actually get a 6 boost because it was 24 between you two?
23.
23. Okay. So 16, 20, 20. Yeah. Okay, so 5 was right. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I am just gonna go ahead and try to go to town on them as we see people walking around with John's laundry in the background.
Okay. And this time, once again, it breaks down, and this time it seems to basically be like puddles that are it breaks down further, and these puddles are trying to rise and move, but at this point there's not enough, and they're kind of just moving around on the deck, kind of crawling speed, kind of slithering and moving. Kind of creepy. But we're going to drop you out of initiatives right now because these are things that you can basically get around and avoid touching.
Okay.
So you guys, they're all connected and they're all moving, kind of just gyrating, like moving. Yes, with sound effects.
With sound
Mhm.
effects, they're
Yeah.
gonna do a sweet rave later.
On the deck, you guys can literally feel the humming underneath you, that rumble that I was talking about. It's literally shaking this deck. So, Brandon, you want to go and take a look for the crate.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you roll me something to search it up? Let's see.
So perception, insight,
Sounds good to me.
sight based.
Yes, site-based.
32.
32. Okay. Yeah, you find basically buried under several others in this precarious Jenga. There's about 4 or 5 crate containers pushing up against each other, and on the bottom of the fifth, just below the fifth one, there is an open blue container that matches the description that in your visions and what you guys saw in your brain. And as you guys are on the ship now, you guys hear again, the same words in your head in that thrumming voice.
I'm gonna go over there and see if there's stuff that I can gather up or not.
Okay. So this is going to be a little bit challenging. And Rizzo, like was said, you can find something to get Aldo up with, some, grapple, some, I just lost the word. Basically, ropes attached to things. We'll go with that. I forgot the
Pulley.
words. Pulleys. Thank you. Pulleys. You found some pulleys. Ropes attached to things was accurate, though. So you found some pulleys.
All right. So Dan will, cooperate and getting himself up there once
Okay.
the pulleys are lowered, or the rope is lowered to him.
Okay. So, Claudia, getting down to that crate, the crate is like this angle. And the opening is here, so the length of it, and it's basically open, up at the top, the cap is open. And so you are here, and the angle is kind of steep, so you guys are, basically trying to fight against it to stay balanced.
Yes,
And
I would like to use some ropes attached to things to help me.
okay, you want to use some pulleys. So, sure, you can pulley yourself up. Uh, you can pull yourself. You can use those pulleys and pulley yourself down. The deck definitely is precarious for those of you that have feet and actually need to work with that. The ghost has no problem. So, Brandon is heading down towards that open container. What about the rest of you? Aldo, let's go with you. What are you doing right now?
Dan, man, I don't know. He's really, he's gonna, I guess, stand watch, make sure that nothing else is happening. I mean, we're really waiting for whatever components hopefully come out from that crate before we can make our next move. So for now, he'll just kind of, make sure nothing else
Sure.
is coming up on us.
Okay. Kevin, what are you going to do? Claudia is currently using the pulley to try and basically lower herself down into that open container that you guys are facing, and trying basically to fight against, like leaning back so that you're not sliding down the deck and stuff like that.
I was just trying to do my part to make sure Dan gets up here safe, like marking me on the other side.
Sure, that's fine. Dan's gets up here safely, and you guys can, basically precariously. I mean, if situations start to change, the angle might be a problem, but not yet. What about you, Mr. Ghost? Spectre. Spectral.
Spectral.
Yes, spectral.
Emphasis on the troll. Let's see here. I think I should follow Stabby McStabby there and see if she needs help, and if not, she looks like an excellent person to defend me. When I step out of the little piles of goo, they do not stop vibrating or anything. They or the effect doesn't end, or it does.
It does. It ends.
Okay, but we can step around them. I would tell these people, but I seem to have forgotten my radio elsewhere in another life.
Mhm.
I think that you still have a bit of it right there. It's kind of melted into what used to be your hip.
Excellent. I have an ilium communicator. Great.
Okay. So you two are going to go to the container, and the other two are going to stay up higher. So Brandon, when you go and look in the container, there seems to have been some benches and some experimental lab equipment in here. And it definitely looks like people were utilizing this on the ship. It doesn't look like something that was just all packed up for storage. It looks
Okay.
like basically a makeshift science station. Like somewhat like, in Spider-Man, that Spider-Man video game.
Sure. Yep.
I forget what Spider-Man game it's
Spider-Man
called.
for the PlayStation.
Yeah, the Spider-Man game for the PlayStation, how on the rooftops there were these basically similar containers.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. They're Oscorp things that Harry's mom used to do stuff with.
Yes. And so, inside it kind of is basically a miniature lab. And yeah.
I'm going to look around the lab to try and figure out important things, but I also know I'm not the best one for this. This seems like something that maybe I can help Rizzo and Dan to get down to.
Okay. And by the way, like, you're currently hanging, and like most of the stuff is slid down against, because it's kind of a 45-degree angle, nothing, and so anything that isn't bolted down has gone shh. And so there's
Oh, okay,
broken
okay.
stuff. I apologize. But yeah, there's broken, a lot of broken stuff, and including what seems to be at one point that machinery with a bunch of mechanisms. I'm trying to remember the term for it, but there is a type of cryptography that you turn the different dials, and it's kind of like those dial versions of locks, but I forget what it's called. But anyways, it basically has these
Decoders?
Yeah, kind of like, but there's specifically the
Combination
container.
locks?
Sure, combination locks works great for the term, but there's a different term. But yeah, it's like a combination lock on that container. When I was saying that there were switches and such, so all of them basically it looked like glass all the way through, and the outer layers of glass or whatever material it was that could see through, they could spin.
Okay.
Against each other.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go get that because that looks really important.
Okay.
And
it's not broken, despite the fact that you guys heard in your heads the shattering sound when you guys were asking about it, when Aldo asked about it. The container seems to be okay.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go get that, and I'm gonna come out of there if I don't see anything else that catches my eye.
Okay. There are vials, there are beakers, there's a laptop. There's a laptop.
Sure. Laptop sounds important too.
Okay. The laptop, sure. So pull the laptop, pull that out, and you can, climb your way out on top of that Jenga again. You guys are on the deck. The ooze is still trying to basically get to you guys, and moving around. And that rumbling once you have the container, Brandon, the rumbling sound and the sound in your heads, it's almost painful how loud it is, and you now feel the ship lurch. The entire ship lurch.
I want to get this stuff over to Rizzo, Dan, and Carl.
Okay. Sure. And by the way, when it lurches, I need all of you to make me, all the people on the deck not carrying on the pulley, to make me an agility athletics check to basically stay on the deck rather than slide towards the Jenga.
35.
Okay.
19.
Okay. And Aldo?
24. Dan rolled a 24.
Okay, you guys are all okay, but you guys don't think that staying on here is going to be very safe, and you can't guarantee not touching that ooze, that oil.
Right.
If you guys get lurched again, you're okay right now. And Aldo, you were like this close to sliding right into that oil. This close.
Okay.
Okay. So Brandon brings back that container that I was talking about and a laptop to the two of you.
All right. Should we get back down to the boat and then look at it?
Let's get where it's a little more stable. I agree.
Yeah.
So you guys go and use the pulley system now to just let your guys self directly down to the boat. It's a little less challenging than getting up. And now you're on the boat with this container that has the spinning dials on the outside. That's kind of like a mega combination lock, but it's a glass container and the dials on the outside are glass-like, but they spin. There's 5 of them. And then and there's little tabs at certain points on them all around. And then there is the laptop. What do you guys do?
Well, Rizzo, why don't you take the lead on these? These are technological and stuff. I'll look over your shoulder and see if I spot
you want to take a look at that laptop while I start taking a look at this thing, or you want me to do both?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. That's good.
Okay. So, Aldo, you can start on the laptop. Actually, Rizzo, why don't we start with you? You're going to look at the mechanism.
What do you want me to give you?
I would say technology and insight, because it's less intellect on this and more insight.
All right, so there'll be some chance. Yeah, I'm a 22.
22. Okay. You get that this is some sort of somebody built using API tech. You recognize that there's API tech in here, and you recognize that dimensional technology of basically the canned
teleporter that was decommissioned.
Yes, decommissioned teleporter and other tech involved in this, and it basically seems to tap into other dimensions when dials are turned certain ways, and draws them into this for study or experimentation or use. And it seems that someone found a way to tap into endless oil.
Now we got to figure out how
No
to
more
send
wars over oil. So that's what you figure out right now. And the dials, if you turn them in certain ways, when it has power. Right now, there's no power to it. It needs to get plugged into a power source. But when it gets plugged in, it seems like, you recognize some of this tech, and it seems to have been stolen from API, or basically, your organization's, the stuff that your organization has gathered. So it shouldn't be something that people should have access to, because it's all locked away by API.
Let me guess, Mayborn.
Mayborn, or, McPherson, or, so. Aldo, what about you? Why don't you tell me what you're trying to find on that computer?
Well, just any pertinent information about what this entity is, or what the experiments were, or who's involved, or that sort of thing, right?
So,
should I make a research roll, or is
you boot it up and you see battery warning. 5%. 5% battery warning. You don't have much time.
Okay. Well, fortunately, I have the research thing that cuts all my research time in half.
Okay.
At
5 higher DC.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
At 5 higher DC. Your DC is going to be 5 harder.
All right. Okay. So I already rolled bad, so I'm going to burn a focus.
Okay.
And roll again.
After your first roll, you see the pop-up of, low battery and the 5% meter thingy, and you dismiss it and go, shut up, let me try this again.
Yeah, so the second time around, it's a 20. Let me double check here. I think it's a 24 total.
Okay.
Because what do you use for, it's percept. No, it's not perception. It's research. Is it research? It's knowledge. It's a knowledge skill. It's research. Yeah.
Yes.
Knowledge is research.
Okay. So 24. A 24.
A 24. So on the laptop, very quickly, you find out that this was a classified research mobile research station that was on its way to a military installment, to a military base. They had somehow captured a planar existing creature that they hadn't encountered before, but it appeared to be a source of endless oil. This is a, very super classified, off the books kind of military group, that's a research group that's doing this. Or was
Do I
doing
find
this.
a photograph? Do I find a photograph of the alien?
Yes.
And it looks like?
The photograph that you found does not have the full alien, but essentially it looks like tentacles coming out of the black portal, aka, Cthulhu-esque,
Okay.
Lovecraftian.
Okay.
And
the same tentacles that we saw on our ship?
Yeah.
On our boat?
Yes, and the photo is of it, of the portal was in the container, and the tentacles come out and break through and phase through the glass, and then basically, they basically, in that photo, it phases through the glass. In another photo, it actually, you know what, easier, give you a video. You can find a short little AVI just before the battery dies. So the little AVI shows you basically that they generate the portal, and this thing comes out, and it's oozing that crude oil, and it's able to phase through the shielding on it, or the metal glass or whatever, and not damaging anything. Starts to swipe around, and then you see a blue electricity bolting, shock through around the containment area that they're experimenting, and then it just snaps back into the portal, and then pokes a little tentacle out, waving it a little bit, like prodding, and it just tapped, and now it's solid against the glass.
Okay. The moment that the device came on the AVI, right? He was gonna say, "Hey Rizzo, take a look at this." So Rizzo could see everything about how it operates in the AVI,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make it reverse it.
Okay.
Reverse the polarity, you cross the streams, get some with the lithium crystal, whatever it takes.
And then the computer's going to shut down at that point. Out of battery.
Okay.
Okay. You guys are on the boat. What are you guys going to do at this point?
Is there any emergency lighting or anything? Turn on, is the thing completely out of juice?
Completely out of juice at the moment.
Okay.
Do we have supplies, or have we seen them to hook it up to a battery of some sort?
You asking the team, or are you asking me?
Asking you.
What do we see out here? Are there were there anything I can use to hook a power source up to? Were there cranes anywhere? Were there?
Yeah, there's machines and such all over the ship that you can probably hook up to.
Yeah, anything I can pull a battery from will give me some juice.
Yeah, I can say so. Well, first of all, the backup generator on the ship might still be operational. Who knows? The crane would have basically a car battery style battery. Then thinking about it, Brandon, it didn't occur to you at the time, but in the shipping container, you think that there might have been a generator of some sort, but it was buried in a bunch of stuff, and it didn't occur to you at the time.
Okay, I will mention it. Go ahead.
Battery would be better than a generator.
Yeah.
So the generator, it's more like it's not a generator, but those power packs for cell phones. There are industrial sized ones for my computer, and so basically it's that.
Oh, it's a UPS.
Okay. It's kind of like a UPS, yes. I couldn't remember the term right now, sorry. I've had a long couple of days. But yes, it's kind of like a UPS, but it's got a, handle on it, and so it's, and you can plug into it. So it's not so much a generator.
Okay,
I will mention, it will not turn on. I saw something that looks like the batteries that you put to your phones, but bigger. Would that help?
Oh, I didn't like that. What's of the ones we've mentioned here? What's the safest acquiry option?
Nuclear devices.
Probably the UPS type machine.
Okay, let's.
The power.
That's up in the crate, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's up in the crate.
That's just typical. You feel like going up there again, Claudia, to grab it?
Of course. It is what I am here for. I will start my ascent back up.
Okay. Climb up. And this time, Brandon, as you get up near the top, you hear ka-thunk, ka-thunk. And you notice that some of those crates are getting broken from the inside. And coming out of them,
Are they getting broken out, or are they kind of collapsing in?
breaking out.
Okay.
And then the precarious Jenga starts to kind of disassemble itself, and various crates are starting to slip further and break into the water and such like that. And at this point, a bunch of different creatures are like clawing and breaking themselves out of the containers. They're bashing the doors open, and then they just latch on to the planks, to the deck with claws to try and basically climb up against that angle. They some of them are like, have tusks, are blue and scaled. Some of them look like fish-like. Some of them look like they have antennae. None of them look terrestrial, basically. Imagine that. Just, none of them look terrestrial. And there are some that are bigger than you and some that are significantly smaller than you. And these things are starting to, break out and claw out of these containers.
Rizzo, I do not believe that this is the only thing that was being transported that we should be looking into. There are a number of other life forms up here that I believe would be of interest to you.
And for all these other life forms, you see that black oil is now covering them, or like it's sliding up along their bodies and kind of venomizing is a great term. Venomizing these things.
I don't disagree with you, Claudia, but let's get rid of the evil devil ooze.
So you jump. So are you going to jump on the deck after he says that?
They are sending me after the battery.
Okay, they're sending you after the battery.
I need to go and get that.
Okay, so Brandon, you're going to be playing a little gauntlet game here because suddenly you are massively overwhelmed as things continue to break out, as things are getting venomized by this oil.
And I'm up there watching because it occurs to me that nobody has a radio. At least I can go from place to place.
Okay, so why don't we start with initiatives again?
So,
Claudia.
Aldo's the wizard, Rizzo's the elf, I'd be the Valkyrie, which means John's the barbarian.
Oh my gosh.
Said we were going to play Gauntlet.
Claudia, your initiative.
I'm a barbarian.
23.
23.
Rat needs food badly.
Aldo, what's your initiative?
I'm not really up there, but I'll roll. I rolled an 18, so it's a 25.
Okay, 25. And I know you're not up there, but things might change.
Yeah, but something could happen. Yeah.
Yep. Rizzo, your action, your initiative.
21.
21. Wow, you guys rolled well. And John, your initiative.
I did not roll well. 8.
8. Okay, Brandon.
Sorry. I have 8 plus 6 is what I rolled. 14.
Oh, 14. Okay. So Dan, you are first to admit you're not really aware because there's a lot of that noise going on. So you're not really aware that there's more noise up on the deck because we commented on that hum and the thrum, and it is and when that kind of rumbling is extended amount of time, it starts to you start to kind of feel it. It's kind of like that uncomfortable massage, the uncomfortable vibrating chair. And you guys are all starting to feel that because you guys have been around here for a while. It isn't just like a little bit. So you're going to just wait at the moment. Rizzo. Oh, no, not Rizzo. Claudia, your action.
Okay.
This is the Joe Biden of uncomfortable evil things.
I am going to go ahead and try and traverse the area to get towards my objective.
Okay, so you're going to be bouncing around. There are now, this is nothing short of a swarm of just creatures everywhere of different shapes, sizes, number of appendages. Some have like five appendages, some have 9, some have, the humanish 4, stuff like that. They're all just very alien creatures to you.
So what should I be rolling?
So you're gonna just try not to fight them. Oh
No, I'm not interested. That's not what we're trying to
So-
gather information.
athletics and power, because you're just gonna bounce across and around and such like that and try and push through these creatures. And some of these even look bug-like. You know, they look like giant bugs on the upper bodies, and yeah. Like
I have a
fly
20
eyes.
I have a 25 on my power athletics.
Okay, 25. So I'm gonna let you bounce across some of them, and they're like clawing up at you and attacking, you know, trying to like grab onto your ankles and such as you're bouncing across them. In fact, I'm gonna make one of them try and do that. Okay, nope. How many in knit are you gonna take from that?
I will tell you in just a second.
Sure. Rizzo, you're gonna be next.
Move is speed 4.
Okay, move is speed 4. That's what I thought. 19. Okay, Rizzo, what's your action?
Okay, I would. I'll pull out my rifle, and I don't want to risk again igniting anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if one gets close, can I do a? If one gets too close to Claudia, I want to put a shot just near it, to make it flinch off, and try and put it to a dead spot in the ship that won't cause any.
You can certainly try. If you roll really bad, I'm probably going to do that kind of stuff to you, obviously. But yeah, you can certainly do that. Go ahead and roll.
I'm only doing it if something gets too close to her, is what I'm saying.
Oh, like she is literally in an army of them, a swarm of them, and she's trying to basically mosh pit her way across them at the moment.
Okay. In that case, I will carefully take aim and do it when I go next.
Sure. Okay. Because I mean, when you're mosh pit surfing, that's kind of what she's doing, except she's bouncing across these creatures. So you're aiming, so that's going to take you 3. So 18 is your next knit. At that point, Dano, do you still want to be on hold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claudia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your action then.
Where am I?
You are at this point you would need one more action to get to the crate. Where the crate was. Problem is you're seeing that the crate is rapidly sliding off down the ship with the collapse of a bunch of the crates. And so it's going to be basically chasing a moving crate that's sliding.
Okay. Well, that's where I'm heading.
Okay. So you're going to launch yourself at this crate that's sliding down with the collapsing of various crates. I hope I'm providing enough of an image here. Am I? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 30 on that power athletics.
Ooh, that's really good. So you just grab on to the crate as it's going down, and you jump off of a creature, and the creature is the next creature is basically just in at the opening of this container that you're grabbing onto, but you grab onto the top of this container as it's continuing its move downwards, and you swing your legs in. There are 2 creatures just at the door of this that lunge into the crate with you.
Okay.
One is this insectoid man thing that's hunched over because it's taller than you are, and it's got its pincers and long antennae with insectoid fly-like eyes and ant-like antennas. And the other one is looks like basically a hairy beast man, but blue with scales, and has this giant tail, and looks like a prehensile tail, basically, because it's using its tail to grab onto the container and swing its upper body in.
Okay.
And that was 4 in knit off of you, so I get to go next. Oh, nope, Rizzo gets to go next. Rizzo, you no longer have sight of Claudia. I don't hear you. You are muted.
So I can't see her. She's surrounded by these things?
I'm in a crate.
She's now in a crate.
Okay, but are these things crowding the front of the crate?
Yeah, they're crowding the front of the crate, and they're sliding downwards, and so the angle that you have, you lost sight. You see a swarm of them where you are, but you can't see where her crate is or where she is. But you do see they're congregating downwards at this point.
Is there any other crates leaning somewhere?
Oh, many. Many. They're in the process of, Jenga falling.
Now that I'm been aiming, is there a position I can put a shot that will like domino effect a couple onto these things without,
Probably. I'll let you
All right.
have that.
Yeah.
I'll set it at I'll set it at a 20 though, because you're down below and all.
Yep, that's what I mean. I'm if it's marksmanship with plus agility, I'm really good at aiming. I'm at a plus
Oh.
16, so
Awesome. I'm setting it at 20 because if it was up high, if you had better advantage, I would have set it at 15.
okay, 32.
30. Yeah, so you plink, and basically you plink to one of the handles, closing, a half open crate door, and that's enough force at that point to dink and cause a domino effect onto, a dozen or so of these creatures, smashing them, and they start flying off the ship on the, like ship here, you guys are here, they start flying off the ship back here. So, plink, plink, plink. So, next to you on the left, you see monsters flying out into the water.
Perfect.
Okay, that's going to take you 4 init to shoot, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong later. 15 is Claudia. Oh, and hold on. Nope, me. 18. I get to go on an 18. Brandon, I'm going to Razafrickin' Raj you a little bit. So the insectoid attacks you with all 4 of its arms.
I will go to block.
Okay.
So he's already in here, or did he have to move after me?
He was already in here because he basically was falling into the crate container.
Okay.
The other one has to move after you. So this one, it's going to do 2 attacks on you basically with the roll. So one is a 19 and the other one is a 17.
How do we do 2 attacks at one time?
Special powers can let me do that, is what I saw.
Cool. I just wanted to know.
In monster powers, basically.
I want special powers, guys.
I actually went and looked at something else for it. So yeah, it's like special monster power.
Your special power is simple bluntness, from what I understand.
You also get it if you, because if you roll higher than the target number, that's one of the bonuses you can pick.
That's true. You can.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 46 for my first block.
Okay, you're fine. And the second one?
I do not roll anywhere near as well. That would be a 34.
Okay, 34. And from what I saw in the reference guide that I was reading, I could only ever get 2. So even though he has 4, I went with just 2. So you are fine on those 2. How much initiative did it take?
6.
6. Okay. Well, that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be stuck here at this point. They're going to be all over me.
Okay, 9. And on that one, that took 8 in it. 8 in it, so that means that that's a 10, and the other one's at that. So the other one moves towards you. The big lumbering thing moves towards you. As it drops down, and you hear the thunk and feel the whole crate move, and all of a sudden you guys are sliding more because it just kind of let its weight hit the bottom. So at that point, it's Rizzo, your action again. You're muted.
I'm still getting used to that.
No problem. You sound so much better.
They're hanging off the crate cheese that Claudia's in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
there are 2 of them inside his crate at this point, and the rest of them are coming after him.
Then I got no shot that I can see.
Yeah, especially from down below. You'd have to get up on deck to do anything at this point.
No, I think I'll aim again and see if there's something that presents itself when Claudia comes out.
Sure. At that point, it's Carl's turn.
Yes, and Carl is perhaps blindly trust. Sorry, had the wrong thing out there.
No problem.
Carl is perhaps blindly trusting, but all of these things are covered in the black ichor because you were saying being venomized.
Yes.
With luck, that ichor is connecting between them. So I'm going to try the step into harm's way trick again and step into one and hope that it reduces behavior for many of them.
So I'll move your initiative down for a move.
All right, and a
And
move
yeah,
is
you definitely see
4.
some vibration and basically a lilt, a halting to them. Like they're still moving, but they're like, you know, almost like time stopped a little bit or slowed rather. In when you do that, they're gonna take that -2, and that is back to me. Oh, and Rizzo, you took aim. You said that was it. Taking aim is 3 or 4, Rizzo. I'll let you check and tell me. So the guy that moved, Brandon, is, huh? What?
Take aim is 3.
Take aim is 3. Okay, that's 11. So the guy that moved at you was at 14. Rizzo's at 11. So, the guy dropped down on you, and he is going to basically put his full force of his shoulder at you and growl and make some very alien noises. It goes at you.
I do not speak that language. We are trying to help. Please wait.
Okay. I rolled
Your
bad.
attack is important to us. Please hold the line in
11.
priority sequence.
Well, I'm gonna block. That'll burn 3. But I'll definitely block an 11.
Okay. I'll take 3. You're at 6. Now, Rizzo, your action.
Actually, I believe since aiming is an action, I am done. I aimed, shot, aimed.
Okay, you are
I
done
have
for the
only
round.
3 actions.
Claudia, do you have any actions left? Because my guys are out of actions.
I have 2 actions left.
You have 6 and Knit left.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Carl gets to go before you. Carl, you're at 10. Do you have any actions left?
No, I'm just
Okay.
holding and waiting because I hope that them being dimensionally vibrating will help Claudia get by.
Yeah, it stopped some of them from moving entirely because they seem very uncomfortable and they're just, basically these creatures, some of them are just running on instinct. So they're uncomfortable, so they're just kind of stopped and they're trying to, shake this feeling. So you're definitely stopping some of them with that. So
You
Claudia,
are a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they know that you only function off of movement, so they're scared of you now.
Claudia, you're on number 6. Go for it.
All right. Do I see what I came here for? The battery.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I am going to move, grab it, and leave.
Just because
How
you knew
much of
exactly
that-
where it was.
How much of that I get done is up to you, I guess.
You move, grab. You have 6 in it, so that's going to burn. If you burn a focus, I'll let you basically get to the top of the crate again.
Sure.
Thank you for the brownie bribe. I will keep it in mind when I kill you.
One thing I really like about John's character is that as I'm looking at the API book and it's on a clipboard, it makes me think that this is his rule book.
That's nice. So Claudia, you are so at this point, Dan, unless you have any actions that you'd like to use, we're going to go to the next round of inits and re-roll. Dan is Aldo.
Yes.
So we're gonna re-roll?
Huh? Yeah. I mean,
okay. I said unless you wanted to do anything with your inits.
Oh no! I'm sorry. No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I'm not really in it. I'm down on the boat. So.
Okay. So let's all re-roll inits now, please.
Yeah.
And I'm rolling 1 init for a
20.
board. 20? Okay. Carl is 20. Claudia?
Oh no, Carl's 28. I rolled a 20.
Oh, great. 28. Nice. Claudia?
28 as well.
28 as well. Which of you has the higher mod? I believe
do.
it's Claudia. Okay, Claudia will go first.
Not me.
Okay, Dan, what about you?
15.
And remember, if you rolled a 20, get your focus back if you spent any.
Oh, yes. Get a focus back. And Rizzo, what about you?
22.
22. Wow, we got a fast group suddenly. Okay.
Well, actually, my initiative is amazing. I just normally roll terrible when you ask me for initiative.
Ah, okay. Well, you're saving it for the important things, as we were talking about this morning. So, 28 is Claudia.
30.
Brandon is on
30
a
is
30.
actually mine.
Okay.
I have one unused action.
30. So, Brandon, you're first.
I want to leave.
Okay, you want to leave. The problem with that now is that there is this just mass of mobs crowding your opening. So you're going to have to squeeze through or beat through a couple of them to try and give yourself an opening to crowd surf up.
Okay.
So you're going to have to at least fight one round. Yep. All these different weird creatures making weird noises and hissing and clicking and just a massive different sounds.
Those were definitely different sounds.
You can't say that I'm embarrassed to make a fool of myself, at least. I'm willing to go all out and do crazy things.
33 as on... I'm not going to clause them.
You're not going to clause them? Okay. So you're going to...
My comment from before is there is no Alice, there is only Zool.
We saw that for the anniversary showing that they did last year. It was a lot of fun.
I got a 15, Brandon.
33, so that's 15, that's 18, so 4 boosts. My goal is to move.
Okay, so basically you're grabbing onto one of them, shoving them into the container, grabbing the other one, shoving him into the container, and just stepping on them, and then bouncing your way up.
Yes, and okay. I paid for the fact that I was doing a quick action with my unarmed strike.
Okay, so how many initiative are you going to use? And I will let you, do that. So
5 in it.
5 in it. I'm going to cost you an extra 3, basically, because you're going to attack and move is what I'm going to count it as. So 8 is what I'm going to count. So 22. And Carl, your initiative.
Sorry, I think the dog just ate my D20.
Oh dear, I hope your dog's okay.
I hope so too, but I wish I had brought 2 sets of dice down.
Just roll your dog.
From personal experience, you will in fact find that later.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have a dice roller on my phone. I'll use that.
Here. Okay. So I'll let you. What are you doing?
I am just staying where I am because I need to keep these things as lower motion for Claudia as possible.
Sure. So I'm going to spend 2 initiative off of you to be basically generating that effect. And Dan, Carl, it'd be your action again. So you're just going to stay here and maintain that until you tell me otherwise. So we'll...
Yeah, I suppose you can jack every 2, but really...
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to jack you once for 2, and then at this point, you're holding your action until you tell me otherwise. So, Rizzo, your action, and then it's going to be Claudia.
I'll do my traditional aim and see if I need to use it later.
Okay. You still have an aim held from that round. Yeah, you had an aim from the previous round held.
He can aim, I think, up to 3 times, wasn't it?
Okay, cool. So you're aiming again. That costs 3, so you're at 19. And Claudia, it's your action.
Okay. I continue wanting to leave this place.
Okay, so you keep bounding up. So at this point, roll me your athletics and power. You're just trying to power through and bounce through these and, throw them out of your way and use them as literally like, your ladder pieces.
I'm going to burn a focus for another die on that. 20!
Get a focus
back. Focus back.
Okay.
So 20, 30, 34.
34. Okay.
31.
31. Okay. 31. So you get up to basically where Carl is on that. And that's going to cost you 4, so that's 18. You are right next to Carl. But this is when, unless Carl takes... Well, Carl, are you taking any actions right now?
Mr. Casper, how many are there?
Lots.
But I thought
don't-
that you were in accounting.
So,
Yes, but I am not in combat accounting.
Carl, are you taking any actions right now still? She's right next to you.
No, because as long as I keep doing this, I believe I can be of help to Claudia by standing still. It's
Cool.
the combat version of quarantine.
So I am actually going to attack you. Several creatures reach in and start like attacking. Basically you're partially inside one of the creatures, and several creatures reach out and they start smacking at you. 2 creatures are gonna attack you, and the rest are gonna be attacking Brandon. So I got a 22 because I rolled well. Well, I guess it was decent. So 22 was my first attack. What are you gonna do, Carl, in response?
Flinch and scream like a child.
Okay. Whatever
possibly put my hands up so that we can do SWAT fighting.
Okay, so you're gonna take it, and so that would be 2 raises, and this thing will take 1 raise to attack you a second time. This thing definitely seems to phase through, like as it hits you, you feel it. So the second one, I only have to hit a 9. That's not gonna hit you, but you take 2 points of damage.
Understood.
Okay, and Brandon, you have mobs near you that are going to swipe at you. So
Sure. How many are we talking about?
5 at the moment. 5 can get to you and, crowd you and attack you. First one is a miss.
Okay.
Second one is a 19.
That's going to be 1 raise.
Okay, 1 raise. That is going to be 2 damage.
Okay.
Is all he gets.
Is that lethal or not?
This one's not lethal. The fourth one's gonna be lethal, and the 5th one's gonna be lethal if I hit. The first 3 are non-lethal. The third one is got a 16.
1 raise.
Okay. So this one it attacks you, and this one it just whacks you with basically the palm of its hand. It's a big beast claw. So this one you take 2 damage.
Okay, is that lethal?
No. The next one has a possibility of being lethal. I got a 9 though, so that's a miss. And that's a natural 1 on the last lethal option. So no.
Cool. Burn, you said 5 attacks, that's 5 a hit off me because I was just taking a hit.
Okay. The last 2, one of them had pincers that would dig into you, and that's lethal. And the last one is a homunculus-like mouth, so that was gonna bleed you, and that was lethal as well.
Yeah.
I tried to basically write up a list of all these different possible attack versions from different things. I'm randomizing through my little list. Okay, Carl. Oops. Sorry, I took the init off the wrong person. That was 26 was him. So, Carl, it's your action after that. Still nothing?
At this point, Carl moves to what he thinks is, in accounting, we don't do a lot of fighting. What he thinks is a defensive stance.
Okay.
I have heard that you battle the budget.
Why he cuts the budget, right?
Back.
Repeatedly cutting the budget. There's lots of combat there. Okay, so I believe combat stance takes 3. Correct me if I'm wrong later, guys. I'm gonna jump down to Rizzo, your action. Rizzo, and you're muted at the moment.
Thank you. I still don't want to. I don't know if I want to risk shooting these things. Like, I'm still worried that they're gonna go.
Okay. So you're gonna take your 3rd aim at that point. Max out your aims.
Well, again, so I can see Claudia.
Mm-hmm. Not yet. Oh, yes. Now you can see Claudia again on the deck.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of a. Now, I don't know if a warning shot will do anything to these things or not. Like, if I can put one, like, purposely miss them kind of thing, but make them like, bullet. Okay. Try and give her some space.
Possible. Some creatures, maybe. So you can give it a try.
I'm going to try it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
I get aim stacks, correct?
Yeah, aim stacks up to 3 times. So you did twice, so you have 2.
plus 10 plus my stuff is that makes that roll of 6 a 27.
27. Okay.
I'm really good at aiming.
Yeah, you actually managed to make a little hole for the two of them, a temporary spread as they dodge the incoming and see some stuff. Yeah. So there's a little hole that the two of them can push through a little more easily. So Carl, your action again, and then it's going to be Rizzo. It's going to be your action again.
Right, a second dodge, which is 4.
Okay.
Which does 4.
Great, 19. So you're still above me on that. So 19, Carl, it's your action again. Do you have any more left? I think you have one left.
I think I have one left, but I'm willing to hold the...
Okay, hold the action. Sure, Rizzo, your action.
I will hold this action.
Okay, you're going to hold this action for the moment. Claudia, it's your action. Oh, wait, nope, it's me first. Oh, wait, he just made the opening for you, so you're good right now. Claudia, it's your action.
Okay. I am continuing to try and get out of there. That's
Okay.
the only goal at the moment.
Sure, roll me athletics again. I don't think you can roll bad enough, but I guess we can see. I don't think you can roll bad enough.
28.
You are fine. You get through a bunch of the crowd and you just jump overboard towards the boat?
That is my plan.
Okay.
I don't want to land on the boat because I'll punch right through it, I bet. But jumping down from this level to a lower level would be ideal.
Okay. You're acrobatic enough that you can basically jump down and then catch onto that ladder that we were talking about. So I'll let you do that. So at this point, I'm going to take you out of initiatives because Carl has a held action that he can just jump off the boat with you and float off the boat at this point before he takes another attack.
Gladly.
Okay. You two get out of there, and that was kind of scary. I think I hurt both of you a bit.
I did not expect that at this point in my life.
Yeah, it hurt. I mean, ouch. It hurt. So, you guys get back onto the boat with power supply. And just, as you land again, it's the thunk. And the entire ship at this point buckles. You guys can see the ship ahead of you is buckling. And now, as the ship seems to be breaking in half from the deck down, cracking in the middle.
Here is the battery that you needed. Does it help?
Let's find out.
In the meantime, while they're doing that, dislodge the boats so that we're not.
You start rowing the boat back. Row
Yeah,
it
just
back.
make sure because we were lodged into the actual boat before, right? So
yes,
just
the ship, and the ship is now starting.
And
and the ship is now starting to collapse down. So if you had stayed stuck, it would have definitely capsized you guys.
Right.
Since it's starting to crack. Okay, how far back are you pulling?
You know what? As it's going down, it's going to be having there's going to be it's going to be pulling us towards it. So
it's going to be tidal.
Until I feel like we're not being pulled towards it anymore.
Sure.
I'm going to be rowing away against.
Okay, so it's going to be a good distance away because it is tidal in nature by that.
Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Cool.
I assume the Washington crossing the Delaware pose as we go through. All pass through me.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay. So Dan's rowing quickly, getting you guys out of there. So Brandon, what are you doing now that you're on the boat?
They're the ones that are in the driver's seat. I'll be watching out again.
Rizzo, your action.
I'm going to try and power this thing up and, as best as I can, make it the opposite of what it was.
Okay, make the opposite of what it was.
All while quietly humming the log rider tune in my head.
You realize after you power it up, it needs to be connected to the laptop, and basically a sequence of codes and such need to be inputted. But you have enough power for both.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So I'm gonna need some technology roll from you, technology and intellect at this point.
Yay.
Try and basically figure out the combination that you need to do.
Okay. 26.
26. Okay. Yeah, I think that would do it. So you hear it whirl and whiz and start to, you watch as the spinners on it start to spin and turn, and then you guys see ahead of you, and at this point, whoever is rowing the boat, if Dan's getting any help or if he's doing it all by himself, Dan, suddenly, if you're doing it all by yourself, you can no longer do it because you're feeling this pull, this massively nasty pull towards the center. And you guys see basically water start to turn into this whirlpool right at where that ship was. The ship, you guys see, collapse in and get sucked into something you guys don't see underwater. Kind of like, shaped, like it got dimensionally sucked into something. And now there's a whirlpool generating. So it's a good idea for you to get the frick out of there. But you're going to need a little help to row your guys out of danger. And so let's do that before I continue the scene.
Sure, I can be on oars if we're not using the motor anymore.
The motor's on as well. The motor is on, but you guys need a little extra help. So I'm going to need...
24.
Okay, 24. Aldo, why don't you roll me the power and athletics check?
Yeah, and the bionic arm adds
Yep. I think it added 5, right?
I think so. So 17, 18, 20, and athletics 21.
Okay, so the two of you plus the motor are able to keep you guys, in place basically against this whirlpool that's generating very quickly. And then there is this cataclysmic loud, clapping sound, and then a flash of light across. And you see a flash of light that's very blinding. You guys can shield yourself and all. But all that oil is getting sucked into this whirlpool all around. And that fire, you see the fire from getting pulled in with that oil and down a very large drain. And scene goes black for a second. And you
By
guys...
the way, at that point, I will spend a point of focus and help row.
Okay, you'll spend the... So, when the scene goes black, our spectral... Carl, you're going to be the only one that is going to maintain here. Actually, I can make you guys make some checks to see if you do. Because, Claudia's probably good at staying awake on something like this. So why don't you roll me a physical resist, guys? I want everyone to make me a physical resist. Except for the ghost, because the ghost doesn't have to worry about this kind of a pull.
25.
25. You're fine. You're going to get knocked around.
22.
22. You're going to stay awake as well. Rizzo.
20.
I forgot that I have some beefy characters here. All of you stay awake. All of you basically, your boat, you stay in place, but fighting that current, your boat gets torn apart and you guys all end up in the water and you guys feel yourself buffeted and pushed around. Would you guys like to have any reactions since you guys all managed to stay awake? I'll give you guys each one reaction. So, Brandon, let's start with you.
Our boat is getting blown apart.
Yes, getting ripped apart by the force.
I want to try and help the others swim.
Okay. You're going to grab onto others and help them swim. I'm going to go in reverse on the other column. Mr. Ghost, what is your reaction to watching the boat getting ripped apart and the people getting basically about to get capsized underneath?
I will fly up, so that costs me another focus, because I figure it's a new scene. And I will shout encouraging things at them, what I mean to be encouraging. Like, you can do it, just swim for your lives.
Okay. Do you have anything that can actually provide them benefit? Any power that I don't know about?
No, I can't possess their bodies. I can't.
Okay.
I mean, I could maybe move something. So
How much weight can you carry if you take the focus to become corporeal?
I can carry. It says here my strength is 7, so whatever that is.
So you could probably lift one of them, the small one, the ratman. You could probably
Sure,
lift him out of the water.
I can carry the rat.
Okay.
I'll just
Rizzo,
spend more focus.
are you going to resist getting lifted up into the air?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Do you have any reaction when this is happening? Your boat's being torn apart by the force.
The oil is still being sucked in.
The oil and fire being sucked in. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to quickly scan to make sure that Claudia and Dan are okay.
Okay. Brandon is grabbing onto Dan and trying to help him swim. Dan, what about you? What's your reaction?
As the boat was getting torn apart, he would have grabbed another like life jacket if there was one. He's already wearing one, but if Claudia comes up to him, he basically offer one to her when he sees that Rizzo's being lifted up, and probably okay, like hand her one in case she's ultimately going to need one too.
Okay. And you guys get buffeted around. You guys are swimming for your lives, pushing against the current. And then you guys can see that in that whirlpool, the form of that giant octopus that's 30 feet across and the 600 pounds. It reaches several tentacles out of the water, flailing, the oil dripping off of it, and it gets sucked into the center of the wormhole, and then boom, the wormhole disappears, and you guys are washed ashore. Well, basically, there's that massive, counter, and you are all shoved, and you guys are all washed ashore. Okay, a little battered up. But you guys were swimming, you guys were, fighting it. You guys are deposited on shore. And the fire is out. Most of the oil is gone. There's little bits of it. Especially on the shore, there's a little bit of it. Some of the kelp is, still there, a little bit of it. But most of it is, once again, pulled out. The birds, they're dead animals in a few areas, charred and such. But yeah, you guys are all okay.
Thanks for the assist, Claudia, and hell of a job on that, on getting that power source. And Rizzo, thumbs up to Rizzo.
Oh, thumbs up back. I'm gonna burn a focus point at this point. Rizzo carries his victory dances in a waterproof container.
Okay.
That he now busts out and hands one to Dan, same as last time.
Okay.
I'm going to check and see if any of the fried birds left ghosts.
I finished the guards to Casper. You want one there? You want one there? Or can you still do this?
I'll look for a bird. Thanks.
You're going to look for bird ghosts?
I'm looking for a bird ghost,
okay.
Yes.
I will say you find one. You can make a new friend.
Excellent.
Hungry. Food. The bird wants food.
Sorry, guy. We don't do that anymore.
Oh, but food, delicious.
It is. Here, I'll teach you how to use your ectoplasm, I guess.
And Brandon, what about you? Do you take a cigar this time since you were told that you should? Okay,
no.
Still no. Anything you would like to montage at the end of your scene?
I have been told that we should not do that. So will you enjoy lighting fire around the oil that's still there? I will be over here.
And we're going to close there. Curtain drops.
Great. Thank you, Alice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alice. I'm sorry, guys. I was so tired today.
Any feedback? Do we want to do the feedback section again? So let's start with John, because he was, he gets to be put on the spot since he hasn't been here for multiple weeks.
All right. Yeah, I liked it. I like the initiative system. I can see where it's a little bit at odds with how the rest of it is a nice, simple system, and then keeping track of initiative could be a hassle. Uh, but it seems like it works out okay. I actually think maybe a D10 granularity for the amount of simplicity you have rather than a D20, but that's again, that's me thinking about uh, what is it trying to be, thematically. But it was a lot of fun, and you were great. I liked it.
Awesome. What about you, Rizzo? Since this is the end of the two-parter.
Actually, again, it's nice to see us kind of evolve and learn the system. I think it's gotten a little better each time. This two-parter was definitely we had a better handle on the rules, the way things worked. I will agree with John. Sometimes that combat feels more complicated than it needs to be, but other than that, it's. I think that would be my only issue with the system. Of course, playing with you guys is always an absolute blast.
Awesome. Aldo, what about you?
I echo all those sentiments. It does feel like it's going along, and then we hit combat, and it just grinds a little bit, but for my taste. But not so much that it ruins it for me, right? It's not like I don't have fun. It's just that there's a definite definite difference in pace between the two modes, right?
Jarring.
Yeah. But I like it. I like the universe. I like the whole premise of the game, and also love playing with all of you. Right? It's. I look forward to this every week.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Brandon, do you have any more feedback and insight?
I'm pretty much with them. I had a great time. I was not at the top of my game. I could not sleep last night, and sadly that really came through. I was trying to stay with you guys, but combat definitely. We've gotten better at it each time, and but it definitely has a different feel. I think that I could see doing it with a D10 instead of a D20, cut things down a little bit, and because that D20 by all means has a huge variation on it. I enjoy it, and I can see lots of people's playing this for their regular game and having a great time. It makes a very easy, accessible World of Darkness style game, and I think that's really good.
Awesome. And for me, yeah, I feel like a lot of it when I'm GMing, it's just roll me the skill. I just look at a stat, look at a skill, tell me, and I went through the book and read it and learned, the general baselines of where I want. So 10 to 20 means this, 20 to 30 means this on the different DCs. And so I have a pretty good grasp of that very quickly. But when it comes to combat, it is definitely micromanaging because I'm here going, I can't go and just reorder you guys because that would take too long. So I'm just looking at the list and going, okay, take this off, and then just look down the list and see who's next, and just keep taking it off. And so sometimes people are like, 25, 8, 19, 7, that I'm like jumbling through. And it definitely is a little bit jarring comparatively to the others. But I think I'm getting a better handle on running it and trying to run it smoother so that you're not feeling it as much. So I have a lot of fun with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the story of part 2 as much as you enjoyed the first session and second session.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey Blades, thank you so much for watching another Babies with Knives video. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and come join the conversation in our Discord server.
If you want to keep content like this coming, come check out our Patreon and consider subscribing. All links for this is provided in the description below. And remember, come back next time to get honed!